Sir, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault, and you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict, and boy, do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they have got the wrong guy there.
They got the wrong guy, and the dog was biting him.
He roughing him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
As the agent for Peyton Ansley, John Milton, you are indicating to me that you're quite familiar with Peyton Ansley, John Milton, and that's basically you. Is that correct?
I am the agent authorized to represent Peyton Ansley, John Milton, as written in all capital letters.
All right, and you understand for my purposes, though that language doesn't make any sense. So
no, I do not.
I understand. Okay, well, I'm telling you that. And so I am, until you disabuse me of the motion, or the notion, I am inclined to believe that you are both the agent and the person, so. And it's
I'm not a person, I am one of the people, thank you.
Okay, thank you, all right.
Okay, thank you. All right. Oh, you can't see me. Can't see me for some reason. There, I'm back. Oh, no, I'm not back. Why am I not back? Let's see. Much gooey. Show me that. Let's try it again. Hold, please.
I'm not a camel.
There. I don't know why the buttons aren't working today. That's weird. I'll get them fixed. Let's see. Try that again. Option keyer, DVE inputs 4. Why would it choose now to not work? Good morning. Welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict. Happy Friday. Welcome, especially to Greeners. Greeners, my friend, it is wonderful to have you here. It is wonderful. Appreciate you. The comedy and the comedic timing you bring with your chat is next level. It's not the same without you here. We've missed you recently, and my heart goes out to you for the loss you've experienced. So grateful for you being a longtime supporter of the channel, Greeners. I really am. But that is not going to save you.
Are we going to address subject matter?
That is not going to save you from the punishment you're about to receive. Because you were, in fact, first in chat, and we're going to punish you. I've got a spam call. Hang on one second. Hello? Hello?
Hey, this is Chase with General Electric Home Security. How are you doing today?
Hey, Chase.
Well, the reason we're calling is regarding a promotional campaign. We're providing homeowners with brand new touchscreen wireless security systems with no installation fees or activation charges. Are you the homeowner?
I am.
Well, let me ask you, if we were to give you a home security system for free, I'm sure you would use it, wouldn't you?
Probably would.
All right, great. Looks like you qualify for the system. What I'm going to do is get one of our security specialists on the line who can explain exactly how this is going to protect your home and family. Give me 1 second.
Thanks,
is that
Chase.
okay?
Thanks, Chase. Guess what they wanted me to say? They wanted me to say yes, and they hung up on me when I wouldn't say it. They hung up on me. Looks like I qualify. Yeah. Every question they asked, they wanted me to say yes to, which could have, I don't know what they would have done with that nefarious bit of information from me. Never, this is our lesson today. Never say yes to a scammer. Greeners, by the way, we're punishing you with internet ownership. Yes, you were responsible for everything IP-related worldwide because you were, in fact, first in chat. If I can get this to work. Why are my buttons not working, Greeners? This is your first job. First job today is fix the buttons. Let me quit. Quit companion. Oh. Maybe my internet did funky things. Hold please, one more time. We'll get this squared away. I need applications. I don't have noise. Why am I getting a buzz? Are you guys getting a buzz? I mean, not like that kind of buzz, like a zzz sound. It's coming on mic 1. Sounds like a 60 hertz hum. No buzz here. It's just me. I hear static. Well, it's going to bug me. So, all right, we've got a little bit before court starts. So have no fear. Have no fear. We're gonna get everything done that we need to. Greeners, consider yourself sentenced to internet ownership. I know I've been interrupted a couple times by squirrel thoughts, but welcome. I have some oceanfront property in Arizona I think you qualify for. Hold, please. Anyways, thanks for everything, Dwayne. 7, thank you for 26 months of support. When you say OG, you can't get much more OG than 7. Thank you very much. Also, DMB second is 26 months, and it's my birthday. We'll have to sing the DMB today. That's awesome. Okay, we'll do that. Let's see. We have who else? Nebraska girl, 18 months. Good morning. You need home security for your neighbors. Yes, to keep my neighbors out of my house is what I need the home security for. I have the old Smith & Wesson version, which has been trusted for years. Smith & Wesson makes a very effective home security system. It doesn't prevent the intrusion, but it prevents the second time. Recidivism is extremely low with the Smith & Wesson home security system. So as long as you've got enough ammunition in the security system to handle every intruder, you pretty much solve the problem eventually. Julie B, good morning. Good morning. Julie B me, sorry. Julie B me gallery in 2 months. Thank you very much for your support, Julie. Let's see. Somebody said something about a Walmart trip yesterday, and there may be video on my channel of that. It was unique. It was unique. I have buyer's remorse now that I ate the bag of chips last night for the podcast. That was a lot of chips. June Sidlauskas. I think Sidlauskas is the name. June, welcome to the gallery. Thank you very much. It looks like at least 3 months of support there. Thank you. Kiki's Garden member for 20 months. Kiki D. Glad to be part of this community. Amazing community RA has built. You guys are the amazing ones. I'm glad to be part of it. Thank you so much. We've got Nebraska girl for 18 months. Everyone's hitting their anniversary mark. This is great. Julie B. Me, we got you there. Sherry M., welcome to the gallery. Curtis, 1231. Member for 19 months. Will you be covering Robert Brooks? Robert Brooks? The name doesn't ring a bell. Someone needs to tell me what that case is and when. I might know it by a different name. Kimmy, member for 13 months. Happy Friday, everyone. Enjoy hanging out with you for court every day. Thanks for all you do. All right. Thank you, Kimmy. Thank you for your support. It makes it all possible. It wouldn't be the same without you here. Thank you. We have a couple things to do. We've got birthdays. I need to fix my, let's see, I think I need to do wired, launch GUI. I'm just going to try to get the buttons working because why would they not work? Asking for a friend. Scan USB devices. It's on. Edit. What's my IP address? It's just a little tech work has to happen in the background. We can't see chats. That's what I'm trying to fix with the buttons. Still hear the buzz. I'm going to kill my audio system and turn it back on. Let's see if that fixes it. And we're back, and the buzz is back. Yeah, we turned it off and turned it back on again. It did not fix it. All right, let me see my. I think I've got a. must have an audio cable unplugged somewhere. Where would that be? Okay, we'll get it sorted. Hang on, guys. It's Friday. It's Friday. Welcome to Friday, by the way. I need my IP address for my switcher just so I can fix this. Looks like I can tell you what it is. It ends in 4.215. Oh, I lost the 5. So I add the 5 on there, hit save, and now still didn't work. What's my IP address of the computer? It's 4.21. That's what it should have been. I don't know why it's not working. Too much salt last night. I've still done it. The chips. There's probably some chips, crumbs, or something in there. We'll turn it on manually because, last resort, I could just push the button with my finger and that would work. So let's do that. All right, so let's go back through very quickly because everyone missed their membership marks showing up on the screen. This is going to be quick. If you're going to screenshot it, you got to get your fingers ready or pause it. June Sidlauskas, welcome to the gallery. Kiki's Garden, member for 20 months. DMB Secondus, member for 26 months. It's my birthday. 7, member for 26 months. Oceanfront Property, I'm sold. A Nebraska Girl, member for 18 months. Julie B. Me, member for 12 months. Sherry M., welcome to the gallery. Curtis, 1231, member for 19 months. Kimmy, member for 13 months. Happy Friday to you as well. Sherry Lynn, welcome to attorney. Sherry Lynn, brand new attorney. Welcome. It's wonderful to have you. Brand new attorney level. Sherry Lynn, reach out to me on social media or on the burner phone. Make sure I can follow you on your socials as well. We'd love to connect that way. We do that with all of our attorneys. Let's see. And I say attorney as in attorney level of support. Not everyone who is an attorney level of support is actually an attorney in real life, and that's okay. Let's see. So now we've got that on the screen. Now we've got, I think it's time for birthdays. Can we do birthdays? I kicked something. I kicked a wire and it went away. I fixed it with my foot. I kid you not. The humming noise is gone. I had an extension cord, which appears to be non-shielded, up against an audio cable, and I just moved it apart from each other, and the electromagnetic interference went away, and here we are. Now we have a wonderful sounding live stream. So, I can fix things with my feet that most people can't do with their hands. So, I don't know. It's like hitting the TV to fix it. Yep. All right. Do we have any birthdays today? Let's see. Josh says, yes, we do. It sends the buffer command. Let's listen for it. There it is. Let's see. We have Denise Feldman Ersland, Sue McGill, Carrie Bear, Indy Cindy, Melissa Webb, DMB Secondus, Tess, and Jovi Ray, all celebrating their birthday today or this weekend. That is a mouthful. That is a mouthful of names, but we're going to do this. Denise, Sue McGill. Denise is okay if I just say Denise. We know each other. We're on a first name basis. So Denise, Sue McGill, Carrie Bell, Indy Cindy, Melissa Webb, DMB Secondus, Tess, and Jovi Ray. We might have to do 2 verses. We're going to do 2 verses. Here's what we're going to do. Everybody stand up. I'll do it with you. Normally I don't stand up myself when I tell you to, and that's my bad. I should probably lead better by example. But desk is going up. There we go. I'm standing up. Everyone stand up. Take a deep breath. Oh, headphones are stuck on the chair. Shoulders back. Project your voice to the back of the room. Warm up with me. Oh, that's the wrong one. I forgot I turned the machine off. You guys need to tell me I was on the wrong one. There we go. Warm up with me, if you will. La 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 la. There we go. Now we're ready. birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Denise, Sue McGill, Carrie Bell, and Indy Cindy. Happy birthday to you. I only got through 4 names. Denise, Feldman Ersland, Sue McGill, and Carrie Bear, and Indy Cindy. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4. So that means we have 1, 2, 3, 4 left. That's good. That works. Here we go. Verse 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Melissa Webb, DMB Secondist, Tess, and Jovi Ray. Happy birthday to you. There we go. Second verse, just as good as the first. I'm just checking to see if I missed anyone else on the birthday list. I'm not seeing anyone in chat. I'm getting my legs stretched in while you guys are doing your high kicks. I feel like I'm helping. I'm kicking. Let's see. Can you see my foot? So there it is. It's way down there. It's a weird angle to hold my foot. Jennifer's dropping it like it's hot. To everyone who celebrated their birthday today, happy birthday. I realize there are a million places you could be, a million people you could have celebrated with, but you've chosen to be here with us. The privilege, the pleasure, the honor is ours. Hopefully we can return just a little measure of that back to you and make your day a little more special. You can begin by having free pancakes at Denny's, IHOP, Village Inn, Waffle House, McDonald's. I missed one. Andy's Grill, Tammy Dunlap's House, and Bob Evans. There we go. Free pancakes. Help yourself. If the manager has a problem with that, come and tell me. Kathy, only 3 more months till a courtroom color change. Ooh, it's drum solo time. Everyone ready for this one? 9 months this time. But it's been here forever. Everyone grab your air drum sticks and finish this song off with me. Beautiful. Beautiful. None of us look silly doing that, just for the record. Kathy, 9 months. This is amazing. This is amazing. You are 3 months away from new color courthouse, and it will look great on you then, too, just as the yellow does on you now. Master Ayden, does this mean my courthouse color has changed? It is orange. It's orange at 12 months. So, yes, you stick with orange until, I don't know. Are you stuck with orange for... I forget. When does it change magenta? But it sure has. Master Ayden, thank you very much. Also, orange. KD214, welcome to the gallery. Thank you. Everyone putting on their new color courthouses. They look great. They look great. Carrie Bear says, yay, thanks everyone. Looking forward to my next 40 years. Oh, congratulations. The big 4-0. You're an adult now. You're an adult now. You can do adult things. It is the last day of February, right? It's not leap year. Good. Oh, Judge Fleischer even weighed in. Judge Fleischer, thanks for calling. Oh, you're welcome. Love it. Love it all. Happy birthday to y'all. Can you play back the hot mic moment from yesterday? I missed it. What the lawyer said in a whisper. I can do that. Let's see. I just have to push this button and then this one that says, oh. I have to also connect it so you can hear the audio. I was literally queued up to do that, and I still have it going through headphones, so you wouldn't hear that. Sound through HDMI. There we go, and it's coming in on 3, I think.
I'm not a camel.
Yeah, it's 3. This is super loud. I need to turn that down just a tiny bit. It's still going to be loud, but you get the gist.
You're freaking out yet?
What? What'd you say?
You're freaking out yet?
Are you freaking out yet? Did you hear, are you freaking out yet?
You're freaking out yet?
That's what I heard. Are you freaking out yet? Yes, the lawyers on Todd Mullis' team did say this, and they said it during the direct examination of Todd Mullis' former lawyer, as he was answering questions and saying what he did, and more importantly, what he didn't do in representing his client, Todd Mullis. In response to what I heard, I'm freaking out, Matt. I heard, are you freaking out yet? because they were getting the answers I think they wanted. They were getting the important answers that have the highest chance of the judge saying, yeah, your lawyer sort of threw you under the bus. That's what they want. They want the judge to feel that way. I'm not sure if she's convinced, honestly, because the bar to say a lawyer was ineffective is remarkably high. It's right up there next to beyond reasonable, with beyond a reasonable doubt. It's that high. It's like the second highest standard in anything in law. Kitty, member for 2 months, has been lurking subscriber for years now. Number 2 month member. Kitty, that second color of courthouse looks great. Guess what? You get a new one next month as well. That's our gift to you. So congratulations. Thank you. I'm convinced that lawyer was super dupery bad. Duperity? Is that a new Eeyore? Is that a new word, or did spell check just catch the better of you? I'm not familiar with that word. Let's see. Emily learned my last name or else, says Lucky 13 on a Friday, no less. I think I got married on a Friday the 13th. So grateful to be part of this community. Thank you all for contributing to improving my mental health. Emily learned my last name or else. Thank you very much. I love your last name. Learn my last name or else. That's one I can finally pronounce. So thank you, Emily. It's awesome to have you here. Love the exchanges we get. I think we've talked on the phone. Have we? I think we talked on the phone. If not, it was definitely through a text message as well. Let's see. Did she say that to Mullis or another lawyer? I think it was to another lawyer. It was the whispery lawyers talking to each other, and the answers they were getting from Todd's old lawyer. Now, realize here's the issue. What we have going on here, it sounds like they're trying to relitigate the case, right? They're trying to go back. And why is my camera looking at the floor? Is that better? You can see me now. It's not a foot show here. We're not that kind of channel. It sounds like the lawyers are litigating the case, right? They're going through and they're talking about all the evidence and who says what and who made mistakes. It's not that they are arguing the point to say, see, we were right here and you were wrong. It's to say, see, there was a mistake here and his lawyer did nothing about it. Every time there's a mistake, every time there's a major error, evidence is introduced at trial that is used against your client that hasn't been turned over before and properly in discovery, that you haven't been notified of, that you haven't gone over with your client, and it's produced literally while your client is testifying on the stand. That's the first time you hear of it, and you don't make an objection, and you don't say, hey, no, don't go there. That's not okay, Judge. That's a problem. That's a problem. And that's the sort of thing the judge needs to hear to say, yeah, you did have ineffective counsel. And if you had ineffective counsel, it's not so much that we're convincing the judge this could have been an accident, right? It's that there's enough evidence that the argument that it could have been an accident should have been presented instead of the client getting on the stand and saying it's an accident and his lawyer getting up and telling the jury, my client's actually wrong. It was murder. I'm just telling you guys now, just between me and you, it was murder. But not my guy. It was some other dude. We don't know who. It's not our job to figure it out. It was clearly murder, but it wasn't him. So we'll see how that goes. The tape was turned over, but the evidence that the way they brought it up was not. So I'm with you, Northwest. I understand that the 911 call was turned over. He never went over it with his client. He never played the 911 call for his client. He never reviewed even the transcript of the 911 call with his client in preparation for this. It was bad. Let's see. Susan Scahill, welcome from Ireland. Appreciate having you here. The lawyer disputing the client's story seems problematic. But realize, with all this said, and we read together the appeal. Some of this was brought up on the appeal. Okay, and an appeal is the right place to raise that issue. The appeal was not accepted. It was denied, basically. The previous ruling was upheld, and so a panel of judges looked at his appeal, or a single judge, I'm not sure how it works in Iowa, looked at his appeal and said, nope, you don't have any grounds there. Now, they have more evidence here than they had in the appeal, so I think it's a better formulated argument to argue for ineffective counsel. But this is their second swing at the ball, and they only get 2. The first one was a strike, so no, it's not a done deal. After this, literally, if this fails, the only option Todd Mullis has is to convince the governor of Iowa to give him a pardon. There's no other way for him to do anything other than serve the rest of his sentence, which is life in prison. We did read the appeal together. Yes, it was fairly short. I think it was like 5 or 6 pages. Do appeals take ineffective counsel into account, or is it appeals simply legal issues, and this kind of hearing is needed for that argument? Knight, when we read the appeal together, I can go back and look at some of it with you. We probably don't have time for the whole thing before court starts. But when we read it together, let's see. Josh had just sent it to me last. 1 second, let me find it. Oh, that's Karen Reed's. That's a different one. I have to find it here. Between all the suggestions for Legos, I did order a Lego set, by the way, for the interview that'll happen next week. Amber, it was definitely Josh. Josh, did you send me? You sent me the appeal, right? The Todd Mullis. We've got so many documents. We've got search warrants. We've got Epstein binders. Here it is. Got it. I found it. All right. So a quick review. We got the reply from the Iowa Court of Appeal. It was heard by 3 judges, Judge Schumacher, Ayden, and Gamble. The Gamble was the senior judge. And Todd Mullis appeals his conviction for first-degree murder following the death of his wife, Amy Mullis. On appeal, he challenges the denial of his motions for judgment of acquittal and a new trial. So he challenged the denial of the motions. So this is a little bit, this is, they did not specifically come out and say it was ineffective assistance of counsel. Hang on, I need different, we've got court's going to be starting here in just a minute, and I need different view up so you can see that. Okay, can you see now? There we go. All right. The box of tissues is sponsoring today's show. OG Sean White gifted a membership to kick things off this morning. Thank you. Do you have any updates on the manhunt? I missed it yesterday. They found him in custody, but I don't know beyond that. All I know is that he stabbed someone. He was wearing a sweater or a hoodie that was red. He took it off. And they eventually found him not far from the original incident. But there was a considerable lockdown for a couple hours as the search went on. And I don't believe any, I think there was just a single victim in that one. Right. Let me get the counter looking a little bit better. That would be nice. We're up to 13 train horns. We are also counting ghost train horns. When the wind blows, it sounds like a ghost train. We're counting those as well. Susie, member for 12 months. Congratulations on the year mark. Says, watching the original trial on Trial TV Live is very enlightening, knowing what we are hearing now. Yes, I would recommend, we obviously, we're not going to go back and watch that trial here. We try to cover live things instead of things historically. But Trial TV Live did a great job recently. I think it was just a couple months ago or less that they covered, a month or so ago, that they covered the original trial, which is only 4 days long. And I think they covered 2 days in one day and the other 2 on another day. So it's a 3-day watch. It's pretty quick. Sorry, that sneeze just snuck up on me. Wind here in Iowa is a wind warning, 35 mile an hour. It was windy down here as well. I drive a high-profile vehicle because it's the only one that fits all of our family members in it. And we get pushed around on the road a fair amount. I'm jealous of the small cars that could just zip along and, don't have a large sail to catch the wind as they drive. Trial was only 4 days. Yeah, which means we basically have more days in this trial, asking for a new one, than we have in the original. And this is interesting. It looks like we've done musical chairs for the lawyers again. The lawyer who was doing most of the tech work as far as presenting, running the images and the exhibits on the screen is now in first chair position. So it looks like she's going to be questioning probably the next witness. Don't think have we heard from her yet? This team of lawyers is working really well together, and they are working very hard for their client. No courthouse crane at 35 mile an hour wind. Yes, the crane should not be setting up in winds like that. If TM gets a new trial, will these same lawyers defend him? I don't know how the Innocence Project works. Somebody has to maybe could tell me. It seems like it would. I don't know. I don't know if they would. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work for what they're doing here. They're doing it for free, and then going on and doing a full trial. That's a lot. Nancy Sawyer, congratulations on 2 months. Love having you here. Just because he didn't like the outcome, he was responsible for his choice of lawyers. His life is on the line. Looks like they're taking turns being first chair. I think what they're doing is they're trying to each play to their strength. There's most likely each lawyer had an area that they wanted to focus on, that they wanted to say, this is what I do best. Let me handle that. Divide and conquer instead of, all trying to do everything for everyone. Okay, where's my... There's our train counter. She's the whisperer. I think the one in the middle is the whisperer. And is also the lead. Post-it notes being passed back and forth. You still on for lunch today? Yes, she nods. Green screen is all messed up. You guys see, like, right here? See how green that looks? It's not good. See if I can fix it a little bit. Here we go. Oh, that's too green. All right. Fixed it. Nope. Now my microphone's going away. Perfect. Let's see. Here's the link to the original trial if you want to watch it. I do recommend watching it on Trial TV Live. They're a great friend of our channel. Chris and Aaron are fantastic. We do some work together. We look forward to doing some more together. They helped us out a ton with Sarah Boone. Being able to be down there in person and running our equipment to get the signal back to us straight from the courthouse. And loved working with them. Looks like the coffin lawyer's out sick. That might be why. No, I thought they changed places. I thought she's over out to the left of. Were there 5 before? And now there are 4? Oh, that would be interesting. Because they've then changed writers midstream. You've got 2 lawyers questioning the same witness because we still have his old lawyer still on the stand. He's not been released yet, right? Or did he finish yesterday? Mullis did move closer. I wonder if he's going to testify. They call themselves the Exoneration Project. I assume it's like the Innocence Project, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I use the name sort of loosely. There are multiple Innocence Projects, and there are different like divisions or like franchises of the Innocence Project. And this one I don't think is the one we always think of. See, Myron, I listened to those. I cleaned those up as best I could on my equipment, and I wish I could. Wish I could show you. There's a TikTok. I think it's a TikTok where there's a crowd at a soccer game, and they're chanting something. And it goes da 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 da, and as they're chanting, the words on the screen on the TikTok change. And they're drastic changes. It's the same sound effect played over and over, but they change the words. And as you look at the words, you hear it, and you hear it clearly to match whatever words are on the screen. And there's like 7 different possible scenarios that are shared, and it's just like what you think you're hearing is what your ears confirm. I was like, I saw that too. Yeah. Maybe if somebody can find it, maybe we can put a link in chat. But I can't play it for copyright reasons. Your car's extended warranty. It's packed in here. Can you please ask everyone in the second row to scoot down so I can take a seat? Thank you. Selena K gifted a membership as well. Everyone scoot down, please. Make room for your neighbors.
All right, we'll go ahead and go on the record. Are there any preliminary matters that we need to address this morning? Anything on behalf of the applicant?
Just on the applicant's end, Your Honor, we want to keep things moving this morning, and we can confer further with scheduling about with the court about scheduling maybe at a break, but we do have our next witness to proceed, and I think we've conferred with the state about that. So,
okay. Any preliminary matters on behalf of the state?
No preliminary matters, I think, other than the scheduling matters that we have before the court here today, as well as the potential ongoing discussions for stipulations.
All right, wonderful. You may call your first witness.
Good morning, Your Honor. The applicant calls Mr. Blake Hemann.
Okay, Mr. Hemann. See you outside. All right, great.
Looks like everybody got plenty of sleep today.
Morning,
everyone's
sir.
well rested.
Come forward, please, and have a seat in the chair to my left.
He gets to swear himself in well seated.
If you'd raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be true and correct?
I do.
Okay. The microphone is on. Just adjust that as you need to so you can sit comfortably. Ms. Neshwat, whenever you're ready.
Good morning.
My name is Dina Neshwat. I'm one of the attorneys for Todd Mullis. Would you please state and spell your name for the court reporter?
Yeah, Blake Hemann, BLAKE HEMANN.
Mr. Hemann, where are you employed?
Farm Credit Services of America.
And what do you do there?
I'm currently a sales skill trainer. Previously was a crop insurance agent.
How long have you worked for Farm Credit Services?
16 years.
How long did you work as insuring crops for farmers?
Approximately 13 years.
So do you have a general understanding and knowledge of planting practices?
I do.
In your yes, ma'am. Is that better? Is that better? You just said you had experience with the planting industry, farmers. Can you give me just a general idea of your interactions with them in your 13 years insuring crops for them?
Sure. The crop insurance process is pretty straightforward. I'd say the biggest requirement is understanding what coverage the producer wants, and then there's some key dates and times that need to be met throughout the year with that process to make sure that they're insured properly.
Do you recall what those key dates are?
There's several. So sales closing date is March 15th. There's some planting dates. So like corn to get full coverage should be planted by May 31st. Beans, I believe, is June 15th. Then there's some other reporting for production in as well. So.
And those are required dates?
Correct.
Is there a window of time planters have to have all of their information submitted?
Yeah, so like acreage reporting, July 15th is the deadline to have that reported.
Who is that required by?
USDA along with the AIPs, the crop insurance agencies.
Are you familiar with the Mullis family?
I am.
Are you familiar with their farming operations?
I am.
Who in the Mullis family are you familiar with?
All of them, the whole family. Todd, I'm familiar with. Amy, Pat, all of the whole operation. Mike, Leroy.
And Leroy is the father of the three males that you just mentioned?
Correct.
And you said Amy also, Amy Mullis?
Yep.
And you insured crops and farmlands for those members of the family as well in their farming operations?
Correct.
Okay. Mr. Hemann, can you explain what an acreage farm book is and its purpose?
Yeah. Do you have that example or?
I'm going to do that in a moment, but just generally.
Generally speaking, when the producer comes to us and says, I planted this crop on this day, we map that for them to get it in the system to essentially certify those dates, crops, locations for them.
And this, is it a farm book or a frame book? Forgive me.
I know they're referred to by some maybe as a frame book. We call it an acreage report.
Okay. Is this something that's generally you prepare for each of your farmers?
Correct.
Is that annually you prepare?
Correct. Annually.
Did you prepare an acreage farm book for Patrick Mullis?
I did.
I'm sorry, Patrick and Judy Mullis.
I did.
Do you know what information was included in that acreage book for Patrick and Judy Mullis in 2018, just generally?
Yeah, acres, type of crop planted, and the plant date. along with Pat's certification that everything was correct.
I'm going to show you, Mr. Hemann, a redacted report. It's Exhibit 378. And, Your Honor, redacted is just the privacy, personal data, the phone numbers, Social Security. A 2018 acreage framework. Do you see that in front of you?
I don't.
Excuse me, the crisis is up. Yeah, where's the paper?
I'm going to give you my copy.
Okay.
For a moment. Can you pull up on the screen for me? Give you a moment to skim it.
Your Honor, the court previously received a copy of this on its hard drive if the court needs to see it.
I'm able to access it. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm familiar with this book.
Because you created that book to put it
Correct.
together?
Yep.
Okay. What year does this acreage report cover?
This one says 2019. Sorry, 2018.
So just to confirm, the one in front of you covers is report
2018.
2018, is that what you said?
Correct.
Do you know when it was prepared?
Should say on here. This was done on June 12th.
And you said the information is required to be submitted by June 15th?
July 15th.
Okay.
This copy was created on June 12th. I don't know. The copy that I had seen before had a signature on it. This one does not. So there's a chance that we did it before June 12th as well.
Okay. What page? 22. Mr. Hemann, would you turn to page 22? Do you see a signature on that page?
The signature? It's next to it.
Well, a redacted signature.
Do you see the redacted signature?
So on the actual acreage report, this would be a signature area where we would need a signature. If you're referring to the other 578s, is that one you're looking at? That's a different signature.
What page would that be on?
I don't see page numbers.
Seems the weakest argument to
Can't
say
give you a PDF number, so hang on one moment.
he couldn't have committed murder or done the searches because he had to plant crops during the day. Maybe that holds more sway with somebody who farms and understands what's involved there. But I'm more concerned with what the judge is looking at right now. Is it the same report that he has?
You want me to show this page?
We're going to show you.
Do you want me to show this page?
Sure.
With the court's permission.
Certainly.
Show you page 22 of the electronic document.
Yeah, so that document right there is the certification from the Farm Service Agency. And so that signature would have been the date that Pat certified those acres with the FSA office or Farm Service Agency, which is separate from our acreage report.
Okay. Mr. Hemann, so again, in this report is there mapping information in there regarding fields that the farmer would own or be affiliated with in renting, for example?
I'm going to object. One, I don't know if we're admitting this exhibit. The state certainly objects to the admission of the exhibit, so right now it's assuming facts, not in evidence. I'm also going to object because it's irrelevant. It's not Mr. Mullis' farm specifically, so under those grounds, as well as 5403 prejudice, as it would be misleading.
It's prejudice?
Did you wish to respond?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm not asking for specific information. I'm asking generally, are there mapping, what is included in that report, just generally speaking, and there will be foundation in just a few more questions, and it's certainly relevant because
Catherine Zeta-Jones?
it gives information to support that certain allegations by the state or testimony in the underlying trial by the state is false, and we'd like to show that with this, what the court is about to see.
Well, I mean, at this point, I guess I don't have any information to tell me what these maps or this information has to do with Todd Mullis. Maybe we could lay that foundation and then move forward with the specific information about this exhibit.
Ms. Beasy, congratulations on 18 months.
And a few more questions I think I can establish.
That's 18 years. That's
sure.
great.
Why don't we go there and then we can come back to the exhibit?
Sure.
Okay.
The foundation. Mr. Hemann, do you know who operated the planter for the Mullis family members' fields that you insured the crops for, from your understanding?
From conversations, I was aware.
Hearsay and speculation, Your Honor.
Overruled.
You can answer.
Okay. From conversations with the Mullises, there was an understanding that Todd operated the planting equipment on occasion.
Did you have any reason to believe that that information wasn't true?
On occasion?
No.
You actually insured fields for Todd and Amy Mullis and their farming operation, is that right?
Correct.
That was a weak answer, that Todd would operate the planting equipment on occasion. That's not a solid answer saying he was out in the field.
Do you know if Farm Credit still insures Todd and Amy Mullis's, their property that was insured in 2018? Is it still insured today?
Yes.
Can you say that again?
As far as I'm aware, yes.
And also Pat and Judy Mullis's property, is that?
Yeah, I'm not in that role anymore, but as far as I'm aware, yes, we do.
In 2018, have you ever met Todd and Amy Mullis before in person?
Yes, on their farm.
Do you know what year that was?
2018, around that time frame, probably more than one occasion.
Okay. Can you just, what was the situation? Where did you meet them? What were they doing?
In some cases, it would have been signing acreage reporting documents or other crop insurance documents, or deciding what coverage to take. In other instances, just on the farm, stopping in to say hi, see how things were going.
So you saw Amy and Todd Mullis together?
On one occasion, both of them together, yeah, that I can think of.
Okay. Do you notice anything unusual about them together, demeanors?
No.
Odd?
I saw them once. They didn't seem to be fighting at the time.
Have you ever seen Todd working on a planter or fixing a planter in front of his shop anywhere or on the farm?
On that occasion that I was just speaking of, I mean, when we stopped in, I remember the planter equipment being there. It was about this time of the year. Seems like Todd was working on the equipment, again, in his yard in front of his shop.
Okay. Okay, Your Honor, I'm going to go back to the showing Mr. Hemann a copy of the redacted report, if that's okay.
You can, I guess.
Still haven't laid the foundation.
I guess we'll have to see what the questions are.
That's a flag to the other side saying object because they haven't laid the foundation.
He has it, David.
You have it in front of you?
The paper copy?
Mr. Hemann, this book, again, you prepare for your farmers annually, is that right?
Correct.
About how many farmers or is it farmers or producers that you call them? Either,
yeah.
How many of those did you have at the time you were working in this capacity as a...
Objection, relevance.
Overruled. You can answer.
90, I would guess, somewhere in that ballpark.
So did you create one of these books in the ordinary course of business for your farmers?
Yes.
Just move it in.
Your Honor, we'd offer Exhibit 373, the frame book, for Mr. Hemann, just to clarify, was this book created in the ordinary course of business?
So it's a
as your
business
standard
record.
practices for your farmers?
Yes.
That's to get around an objection of hearsay.
You're on page 8 of your own.
I'm not sure if the whispering is needed or if that lawyer who seems to be the lead lawyer just likes to direct everything.
Okay, Your Honor, the applicant would now offer Exhibit 378, into evidence.
Any objection?
Yes, Your Honor. For the same grounds, it would be misleading. It's more prejudicial than probative under 5403. This is Pat Mullis's farming record, so it's irrelevant to this proceeding and doesn't speak to Todd Mullis's planting habits or even whether or not he was the one planting, even based on the foundational testimony of the witness here. So it is more prejudicial than probative and irrelevant to this proceeding and immaterial.
Again, I guess all I've heard to connect it to Todd Mullis is that on occasion he operated the planter that I guess potentially planted the crops that would be referenced in this report. So I agree. It's way too tenuous at this point. It's not going to be admitted at this point. If you want to continue to lay some foundation, you certainly can.
Mr. Hemann, between the family Mullis, the Mullis family members, there was Mike, Leroy, Pat, Todd, and Amy Mullis. You insured their fields?
Correct.
From your knowledge of all of those fields that are insured, crops are insured, was it that Todd Mullis was the one that operated the planter for those fields?
The primary operator of that equipment, again, through conversations, was always that.
Hearsay and speculative, and it's leading, Your Honor.
Overruled.
You can answer.
In those conversations, it was often talked about that Todd was the operator of the planter equipment.
Okay, that's a different answer they gave
Do you have
before.
any reason to believe that that he was not the operator of the planter?
Objection, Your Honor. Again, we're just speaking to another farm book. It's completely irrelevant to this proceeding and speculative at this point. If you would like me to voir dire the witness and ask if he has specific knowledge about specific instances, I'm happy to do that. But it is speculative here because it's trying to say it's action in conformity with another document that hasn't been admitted.
You may voir dire the witness if you'd like.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Hemann.
Good morning.
You mentioned previously that you insured all of the Mullis family farms. Is that fair?
Correct.
On any specific date and time, were you present when Todd Mullis was planting?
Not to my knowledge.
Can you name any specific date or time as it relates to when he would have engaged in planting on any one of the Mullis' farms? Specific time frames?
That I witnessed?
Yes.
No.
So is the full value of your ability to speak to whether or not he planted in his fields or in another Mullis family field based on what you've heard and what has simply been relayed to you?
That would be correct.
Your Honor.
That's all hearsay.
The state would object on the same grounds.
Sustained.
Again, 378 is not going to be admitted at this time.
One moment, Your Honor.
Us left-handers need to stick together. Oh, there's another train whistle, ghost whistle. It's the wind. I counted as two.
Could you give me one moment, please?
Certainly.
I saw Phil Toyo Toys on Twitter posted the haunted courthouse clip. It was funny. Does seem like a little bit of a huddle here. If we can't get that in, are we done with the witness?
You said you're familiar generally with farming, planting industry. Have you ever ridden in a tractor before that's pulling a planter?
Objection, relevance.
Overruled.
Yes.
Generally speaking, do you know how fast a planter moves in the field or tractor moves in the field?
Depending on the equipment, it's probably average 5 miles an hour. I would assume would be a good estimate.
Okay.
5 seems walking speed.
Does the size of the planter impact planting time?
It's a fast walk.
How about the shape of the field? Does that affect planting time?
Yes, I mean, a square field that's flat is going to plant easier and faster than one that's got waterways or point rows in it.
Do you know if do you know the size of the planter that Todd Mullis used when he planted his own
You better know
fields?
the answer to this question.
No.
Why would you ask that?
So you don't know if it was a 16 rows, 24 rows?
I'm not familiar with what size it was.
They're asking questions
I
they
don't mean
don't
to
know
put
the
you on the
answer to.
spot, but do you by any chance, because you're insuring the fields, know how many feet are in an acre?
I should know that.
Okay, you do?
I should know that. I'm sure I knew it at one point. So the answer would be no. Not today.
He's fired. Here's the right answer.
The information generally that is provided in the books that you created.
Square feet.
Is that reported to the FSA? Is that what it was?
This information in our books, that when we do our crop insurance reporting, our acreage reporting, we're submitting that information to the approved insurance provider, who is essentially the underlying reinsurer, so the company that's holding the insurance.
Community general.
I think you can ask if he knows where the...
In 1 square mile,
Without looking at the book in front of you, do you know
there's 640 acres.
areas of the fields that you insured for several years for Pat and Judy Mullis?
Objection, relevance.
Overruled.
I'm familiar with them, yes.
Do you know the radius between, I'm sorry, let me ask you a different question. How many fields, if you know, without looking at the book, did you insure for Pat and Judy Mullis?
Yeah, ballpark 7, I'm going to guess.
Do you know the radius between those fields?
I would say all within 20 miles of one another.
Okay. When someone is planting, do they need to refill the whichever crop they're planting with certain items? For example, fertilizer or...
Yes, or seed, fertilizer, some chemical.
Yeah, it was a bad question.
How often does a planter break down, so to speak?
According to the producers I talked to, too much. They have the wear and tear affects them. They do break down, I would say, often.
I just want to clarify one last point. You said it was 2018 that you had met Todd and Amy Mullis?
As far as I can recall, yes.
And at one point you saw them together?
Yes.
And you didn't notice anything odd or about their demeanor or relationship?
No.
Okay.
Hey, MCAT, give it another try right now. I had a funny banned word that was in your message. That's why it didn't show up.
I have nothing further, Your Honor.
If
Cross-examination,
it will let
Mr.
you.
Duden?
Briefly, Your Honor. Good morning again, Mr. Hemann. You managed the insurance policies or services for the Mullis family for a number of years. Is that fair?
Correct.
And your agency has done this since at least 2018, right?
Correct.
Up to the present?
As far as I know, correct.
And based upon your testimony, you first met Todd and Amy Mullis personally in 2018?
Objection, Your Honor. That's not what he said.
Overruled.
Misstates testimony.
Is that correct?
First met them. I believe that's when I took those policies back over. Correct.
And so any paperwork that would have gone through your agency would have been signed by them on their property?
Can you clarify with any paperwork?
Objection
When you
vague.
have them sign or certify the farm paperwork at issue, or that is relevant to your agency, would that typically be done on their property?
Not always.
Did you meet Todd and Amy Mullis on their land specifically, though?
It's on occasion, yes.
And on the number of occasions that you interacted with them, it would have been on their land?
Generally, I would say probably more often than in the office, if that's what you're asking.
And today, you can't say whether or not Todd Mullis engaged in any planting for a family member, can you? On a specific date in time?
Not that I witnessed, personally.
Were you asked to sign an affidavit in this case?
Yes.
Did you sign an affidavit in this case?
I did not.
Why not?
Because the affidavit asked the same question you just asked me, to essentially say that I saw or knew of Todd planting every acre on a specific date.
And you couldn't do that, could you?
I can't.
To the present, does your agency still manage the farm insurance policies for the Todd and Amy Mullis land?
As far as I know, yes.
And as far as you know, that land still is placed within the Todd and Amy Mullis Living Revocable Trust or within their names, correct?
Objection, Your Honor. How would he have that information?
Overruled. The witness can answer if he knows.
Objection. How would he have
I don't know the answer to that, of what it's insured under or who.
So from what I've gathered from your testimony, you knew or believed that Todd Mullis would on occasion assist with planting in his family's fields. Is that correct?
Objection, Your Honor. He didn't say on occasion.
Well, the first time he did use the word on occasion. So the objection's going to be overruled.
He did.
The witness can answer.
And I can clarify that. So I should clarify, as far as I knew and was told, Todd did the planting of all crops for the Mullises in the past and up to that point.
But that was all based on what you heard from other people, wasn't it?
My conversations with the Mullises.
So it was self-reported?
Correct.
And to date, you've never witnessed that, right?
I cannot recall a time when I witnessed Todd in the planter tractor on a specific field, no.
And even the information that's included as to what date it's planting occurred in any specific year or time frame is self-reported. Is that fair?
It is.
So you aren't cross-verifying that information, right?
Correct, no.
Nor are you certifying that information yourself, right?
We take producers' word for it. They're certifying that that's accurate. Yeah.
I don't have anything else, Your Honor.
Can you redirect?
Yes, Your Honor, just a couple, please. Mr. Hemann, if you were to look at Pat Mullis's acreage book, would you be able to determine the fields that were planted in 2018?
Yes.
Objection, Your Honor. Again, we're referring to facts potentially not in evidence, and that has already been deemed or excluded by the court.
Objections overruled. The answer will remain in the record.
Evangeline Light, thank you.
The information about Todd Mullis planting for the rest of his siblings and the Mullis family's members planting operations, did you have any reason to believe that that information was untrue?
No.
Maybe I should run Farming Simulator on a split screen during this trial.
Farmers or producers, you said you take their word for it.
Objection leading.
He just said that.
Well, is there?
I'll withdraw it, Your Honor. Okay. The information that they're providing to you is to get insurance on their crops. Is that correct?
Correct.
Would you say that planting and crops and the yields returned are their livelihood?
It's specific to crop insurance. It's the way they manage risk to ensure they can, again, continue to run their operation.
I'm running at the bottom. So they would have every reason to report it accurately.
Objection.
Do you agree?
That's a credibility call and leading, Your Honor.
It is leading. Sustained.
Mr. Hemann,
They've lost this witness. They haven't gained anything.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Any recross?
That was a big fail.
Thank you, Mr. Hemann. You may step down.
Leave this here.
Sure.
Okay.
Further evidence on behalf of the applicant.
Your Honor, I think it might make sense for the parties to confer with the court briefly about scheduling from here.
Okay, let's go ahead. We'll go off the record, take a short break.
Okay, that was disastrous for Todd's team. The reason why is he needed to have that evidence come in, specifically about the farm, the map, the dates of the planting, when he would have been in the field, who would have been in the tractor. All that is necessary because it counters the evidence the state presented at trial, which shows that some of these searches on the iPad were made during a time when his phone did not have Wi-Fi. He was out in the field on the tractor, and some of these searches, especially some of the troublesome searches, were made when he was not there, which would indicate it was either his son that was making the searches or it was his wife, the victim, that was making the searches. Now, why would his wife make a search like that? That's open to speculation, but we know she was seeking a divorce. She wanted a divorce. She might have been doing things that might make him look bad. Cops are here already. They're looking for that neighbor. That could be something that the lawyers could argue in closing, or could have argued in closing. Of course, we're not arguing this case for the fact of the matter. We're arguing this now in front of this judge to say this is something that his old lawyer should have looked into and should have argued, and they just didn't score the point. So this is just one more area where they've not met that threshold to say, yeah, and here's another area where he did not operate as he should have as a lawyer, and it was deficient in his representation. Wait, what neighbor? The one that broke into my house. Okay. I have downloaded a game on my phone. I think I might be able to see how to do this. Oh, it has music. That's terrible. Hang on. I need no music. Oh, it's a Netflix game. Netflix owns Farming Simulator. Oh, I've got to download the lower one. Am I relapsing? No, I was just saying that during this. Man, my camera's got problems. Hang on, 1 second. There we go. I was going to say during this trial, we could have Farming Simulator going on the screen, so it would be split screen. Farming Simulator games are gateways to other games. Chris Wallace, hang on 1 second. Let me get your message. I've missed a couple here. Just 1 second. There it is. Chris Wallace. 20 months, he says. Say it. OG. Chris Wallace, congratulations on your 20 months of support. That does truly classify you as an OG on the channel. Thank you. MCAT, 25 months. Funny. We have words that we put on the banned list periodically. Like there are some times where we temporarily will add a word just because of the conversation that's going on in chat, and the mods have to delete a lot of comments with a word, which normally isn't bad. And believe it or not, we had a moment where I added temporarily the word chat to a banned word list, so you could not say chat in chat. It was when a lot of people were trying to, call out. I think it was on Verdict, during a verdict, and a lot of new people were to the channel, and they were making all sorts of rude comments, and other people were saying, "Look how rude chat is being." Those comments caused problems for the mods. So we banned chat. I left it banned, and so MCAT in his message here saying, wishing RA and chat could be there to grasp and shake their hands, could not get the message posted. And it's like, nope, not allowed, not allowed. And so he reached out to help on Discord. Thank you, Toxic, for stepping in and reaching out and letting me know that I had forgotten to take the word back out of the banned list. And now you can say chat in chat. But if you talk bad about chat in chat, you can't say that. Anyway, that was funny. So thank you and congratulations. Also an OG. Third OG, Evangeline Light, 22 months. Love this community. Thank you very much for the kind words. Mrs. R.A. is amazing. Mods are the best. Thank you. Pentouffle. I'm getting a real itch to play Farmtown again. Farming games were very fun. All right. That is sneaky. Chat, yes. These are things that the moderators do, and honestly, we added, since I have removed chat from the banned list, I have added another word to the banned list just today, which now means I think we have about 190 words in the banned list. Most of them are ones you would not say to your mom, but some of them are, you're like, why would that be in there? Well, it saves the mods a ton of work. I have yellow lips today. What happened? Why do I have yellow lips? They look yellow? Neighbor broke into your house. We thought it was the water company guys. No, the water company guys told the neighbor, and then the neighbor broke into the house. Okay, we've got a call coming in, and I found my cords so we can connect them. Here we go.
Call from Catherine.
Hello, Catherine. Thanks for calling during the break. What's on your mind today?
Hey, good morning. I've been watching this all week long, and I don't know if it's just me or whatever, but the state's prosecutors, they're really kind of rude.
They're really forceful in their objections.
They're just for the judge. I'm like...
And the judge has several times said, you guys, ladies, gentlemen, calm down. It's a bench trial, okay? You don't need the theatrics to win the jury over to your side. But I think they are they're frustrated is what I could best describe. This process has gone on a long time for them. Oh, we're coming back. Catherine, I'm sorry to cut you off. We're back in court. Thank you so much. Great comment.
Behave. Bye.
All right, bye. Miss Violet, thank you. 10 months. On the same day, we'll welcome a new short person.
We'll go back on the record here just briefly for the purpose of confirming our off-the-record conversation. We've actually been doing remarkably well, I would say, in terms of witness availability. But it's my understanding that at this point, we do have at least a couple of hours before our next witness is available.
Oh.
And we'll be waiting until 1 before the applicant's next witness. Is that correct, counsel?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and at that point, we'll pick back up with the rest of Mr. Firehelm's testimony, and he will actually be appearing by Zoom. Is that the plan?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. We'll plan on that then. Counsel, I know we have a few things that we can take care of, and you will be working on some other details as well off the record, but we'll plan on resuming in the courtroom on the record at 1 p.m. Anything else then that we need to address by way of housekeeping matters? Anything on behalf of the applicant?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Anything on behalf of the state?
No, Your Honor.
All right. I'll be back in chambers then at whatever point you'd like to address the details that we need to take care of. Thank you. Court's in recess till 1.
We get a 3-hour lunch precisely, which is amazing. That's gonna be a blast. Jill Higgins, welcome to the gallery. We're gonna do a little court hopping. We're not done yet. We're going to do some court hopping. Josh has reminded me, for those that are new here and looking at this trial and saying, what is going on with the trial? Why is it a little different? Why isn't it what we expect? Why is defense not allowed to lead and the prosecutors are? This trial is a little different. This is a post-conviction relief trial, which is a civil trial, which is something that's allowed in Iowa after you have been charged with a crime, have been found guilty by a jury, you have been sentenced, you have appealed your conviction, and you have lost your appeal. Then, and only then, do you file this post-conviction relief trial. It's basically suing the state for convicting you, if you can look at it that way. So when you sue somebody, you're the person who brings the suit. You're the it's not prosecutor, but you are the applicant, the person who's applying for this reversal. You're not really getting the money, even though it's a civil suit. There's not a money judgment. The only options that are available to the judge are she can say, you're right, you get a new trial. You're right, your sentence is going to be reduced because of this. You're right, I'm going to release you completely. Just, you're a free man, go plant your corn. Let's see, you're wrong, go back to jail. I think there were only 4 options. Did I say 5? I think there were only 4. You're wrong, go back to jail, serve the rest of your sentence in jail. And then basically this is a last recourse. And you're only allowed to bring a suit like this up for a couple reasons. You can't just say that, hey, I don't like how my trial went, so I want a new one. You can bring it up for ineffective counsel during your first trial, which is what they're doing in this one. You can bring it up for the conviction of sentences unconstitutional. This would be very rare, okay? Especially because now courts use guidelines and they follow these rules. That would be rare. The defendant discovers new evidence. We haven't heard a lot of that, but there's been a hint that new evidence, had they asked the right people, this evidence would have come in. A new statute or case affects the trial or sentence or evidence. That would be something like you got convicted for dealing bales of marijuana. You were shipping bales of marijuana to someone, and you got busted on this, a drug trafficking charge. And unlucky for you, the state just changed their stance on marijuana, and now everybody can grow it, and it's now a state-subsidized crop. And, feel free. There, you could bring a PCR for that and say, hey, it's not illegal now. What I did it was bad then, but it's not now. Can you let me go? So that's an option. Do my lips look yellow? It's not like I just ate chips and went to bed. I showered, I shaved. I think it's just your computer. It looks normal on my screen, Kelly J. It's a Hail Mary pass. It is a long shot. Remember to go back to the trial, or we're going to go back to the trial in 3 hours when they start, because right now it's just people packing up and going, taking a long lunch. New evidence not discoverable during first trial. I think they've got a little bit of that. Hey, Mrs. Ari, how are you doing? Do you want to talk on the mic? No? Okay. Mrs. Ari has, she's learned some things about construction, which is more than I have done in all the years that I've been here. So she's going to teach me how. Thank you, by the way. Appreciate that. Susie, welcome to the gallery, brand new member. We have during this break, hang on, first of all, I'm going to set a timer. Thank you for the reminder, by the way. Myron, appreciate that. Set a timer for 2 hours and 45 minutes.
2 hours and 45 minutes, counting down.
All right, so we have a timer. We're not going to forget to come back to court. Meanwhile, we are going to do a little bit of probably court hopping. I did record some of, I think we had Simpson from yesterday. I decided not to go with that. I think initially I thought there was somebody who was being funny. I think there might be a mental health issue at play there, and I don't want to poke fun at that situation, even though Judge Simpson had a good laugh, and the person on screen had a good laugh. I'm not sure if I don't want to be laughing at someone if I'm not sure that we're laughing with them. Does that make sense? Bales of marijuana not on my bingo card. Yes, you can only fit 40,000 pounds on a flatbed. For those who are baling marijuana, that's the legal limit. But then make sure you cover your load because you don't want that just to blow off. I have Cheeto lips. I didn't get the Cheetos. Stopping by to say hello, says Angelique. Glad you escaped the criminal pirate last night. See y'all next trial. All right, Angelique, thank you very much. Fun little trip to Walmart. I did live stream just a portion of that. Had I not been in such a hurry to get back for the podcast, I think I really would have started going up to people and talking to them and seeing if I could talk them out of something that's in their carts. But, okay, it being Friday and we're court hopping, here's a fun fact. On Fridays, often the courts we like to follow, so like Judge Simpson, their cases are a little different. They're usually landlord-tenant stuff on Friday, meaning almost everybody who is there is being kicked out of their house. And that's not fun. Is this in lieu of appeal? No, this is after appeal was denied. But it's a new topic. Can we watch just Todd's testimony from previous trial? Possibly. Give me a second, see if I can pull that up.
Call from Riley.
Riley, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Fabulous. Happy Friday to you.
Happy Friday. I had a funny story I wanted to share, if you had a second, about bales of marijuana.
Seriously? I thought I'd...
Seriously.
Now, just know, I'm not your lawyer, but I have to warn you. If the statute of limitations...
The statute of limitations. It is long past the statute of limitations.
You're taking this on yourself, though. I'm not forcing you to share this with the world. We could have law enforcement listening.
I appreciate it.
Okay, with that, I'm all ears. Please tell me.
Okay, so when I was significantly younger, I went on a vacation with my family to an island. We'll leave it at that. And
I love Jamaica. That's a side note. Go ahead.
One of the beaches at this island was known for its collection of trash that was in the ocean. Based on how the currents went, a lot of trash got washed up over here, and so it was like kind of a known place to go and like beachcomb, because you could like find flip-flops and like pool sea glass and like all sorts of random stuff. So I'm like middle school age, right? Very young, walking through with my family, and we see these like 4 flour sacks sitting on the edge of the beach. And my brother, who's slightly older than me, was like, "Oh my God, these are drugs." And my family's like, "No, it's not. It's not drugs.
Yes, go get your
You're
suitcase.
crazy.
They're drugs. Trust me. Get your suitcase."
So my brother finds a whiskey bottle. He cuts the bag, the flour sack open, and it's duct tape. And so he's like, "Oh my God, this is definitely drugs." And so he keeps cutting, and it's like duct tape, saran wrap, duct tape, saran wrap, duct tape, saran wrap, all the way down until it got to probably a 30-pound bale of marijuana.
Of weed. Wow.
Yeah.
What happened next? I'm curious.
So next we were like, we weren't supposed to find that. That's crazy. So we found somebody who was there locally. Weed was legal on the island where I think it was decriminalized. I don't think it was legal, but decriminalized. So we went to local law enforcement, and they were like, "Okay, we'll throw it away." Like they were like, "We don't, thanks." Like they didn't really do anything with it, but it was just super weird. We found about 90 pounds between all of the bales that were just washed up. They said it happens a lot when they're like on boats and they're about to get searched by the Coast Guard. They'll just throw everything overboard and hope that they find it again, but sometimes they don't.
So I'm not sure if you said this. Did you say it was best vacation ever? Is that what I heard?
So I was in middle school, so I didn't do a darn thing with it. I was a good kid.
That's good. That's good. That's funny. I have heard about that. What's weird now is that was back then. It was a bigger thing to smuggle marijuana. That's become one of the lesser drugs to be smuggled because it's easier just to grow it here. First of all, there are many places that grow it legally, but it's easier to grow it here illegally than to smuggle it in, and the cost and everything associated. I've found marijuana farms myself while up hiking in the mountains. It's amazing to be up in rugged country and suddenly come across a full irrigation system designed for watering and planting and fertilization, and it's like, whoa! I just walked into. I've never seen a booby trap. I know that's something that people say watch out for, but well, fishing and suddenly
so
finding a crop.
I farm. I've been on talking before about farming. My grandpa was a farmer as well, and he used to go into the back of cow pastures and see just fields of marijuana. He'd call the sheriff, and they'd dig it up, burn it. I mean, do something with it. They did something, but he was just like, not with my cows, thanks.
When I was graduating from college, one of the papers I did was like a business model study on something I found interesting. But we basically proposed flying drones, autonomous drones over mountainous areas using infrared and near infrared cameras to detect the signature, the unique signature that in the spectrum that marijuana gives off, so that you can literally find marijuana crops, illegal crops, on government land.
You can find them inside houses with the infrared too, because the heat lamps that they use will make like one portion of the house like significantly hotter. So they'll use that and be able to find like houses where they're growing it in the attic and stuff.
Fun stuff. So have you been to Jamaica since, or?
I have not. I've not been back, and I did not say it was Jamaica. I said an island.
Yeah, I know. All right, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing bales of marijuana. Yeah. So bingo, we've got bingo now. Thank you, Riley. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
I'll talk to you again soon.
Bye.
All right, good stuff. There's actually a farm near us here that grows hemp, which is different. Grows hemp, but it does look quite similar for those who are unfamiliar. I think, if I remember right, growing up, when we lived in a little apartment, our neighbor had some that she was growing in flower boxes out in front of the house, and they wanted us to water it while they were gone on vacation or something like that. But I don't remember seeing it or anything. Family was very lucky. Had that been white powder, it could have been worse. Yeah. I have to admit, I have never smoked cigarette or marijuana, and I'm happy with that. I'm what people do on their own time. That's great. Some people love it. Some people use it medicinally and swear by it. I think that's great. I'm not a fan of heavy recreational use. I've had a lot of friends who started that way, and to me, it does seem like a gateway. That it led them to harder stuff. Or after starting that, they went on to harder stuff. And I can't say that I haven't had the experience that I know myself, but I'm fine with having not ever smoked marijuana. I've been in environments where secondhand smoke has been quite significant. I've been in rooms with a low-hanging cloud, so to speak. And it's interesting. Why are we on a long break? The judge ordered a long break because the witness is not ready. We're gonna bring up some testimony here in a little bit. I think we're gonna go to Court TV's testimony, which is, I think, 3 hours long. We can watch. Let's see if we can do this here. Just 1 second.
Have a seat.
This is from the let me pause for just a second. This is, you guys see this? Okay, this is, we'll turn off the train counter. Or leave it on. I don't know. There might be trains during this one. Oh, that's not it. This one. This is Court TV's copy of the original trial back in 2019 when Todd Mullis took the stand in his original trial. And we're just going to watch this part. It's about 3 hours long, so it should fill the gap quite nicely. I don't know. What was I saying about weed? Got a contact. Yeah, I think I could qualify as of probably feeling a light buzz just from being around people that were smoking. I don't know why I was telling that story, though. Oh, yes, I do remember. There was a point when I traveled internationally, and I was gifted a large bag of, I don't know what you call it, rough cut marijuana, seeds, bud, leaves, stems, everything. It was a bundle. I obviously didn't have any need for that. I got rid of it. The person who gave it to me was trying to quit, and they thought that I could help them quit. And so I dispersed it like seasoning over a large area. I didn't want to just throw it in the garbage. I did, however, keep a bunch of the seeds, and it was like a journal entry moment. And so I literally had a journal which I kept the seeds in, and I had them in a little baggie. I just thought it was funny. Interesting experience. Doesn't even cross my mind until I'm like in line to go through customs to come back into the country or go to the airport. I'm thinking, I'm watching these dogs walk around in the airport. I'm thinking, I wonder what they're sniffing for. And they're like, huh, I wonder if they can smell seeds. I don't know if they smelled it, but they didn't bark. They didn't sit down. They didn't point at my bag. And everything ended happily. So I think the seeds were crushed in the book, so I don't think they could grow. But anyway. All right, so let's go back and listen. This is Todd Mullis taking the stand back in 2019 in his original trial. Now that we've seen what we've heard, maybe this will be interesting. And having not watched the rest of the trial, we're going to have to sort of learn who the players are here really quickly. So
State
thanks
your name,
to Court
please.
TV for this
Todd
amazing
Mullis.
video.
Go ahead, counsel.
Mr. Mullis, where is your home?
Kind of northwest of Earlville, on a farm.
We're going to speed it up a little bit.
Mail address is?
Yes, it's 1722.
I'm not going to give out its address. Speed is going to be a little higher. There we go.
How old are you?
I'm 43.
What's the extent of your education?
I graduated high school.
Where did you attend high school?
Maquoketa Valley and Delhi.
Tell us a little bit about your family. Are your parents still alive?
Yes, my parents, Leroy and Elaine, are alive. They live just north of Earlville. And
they're here
I
today.
got two brothers and two sisters.
What are your brothers' names?
Mike and Pat are my brothers. And
sisters?
Lori and Lynn.
Do you have children?
Yes, I have 3 children.
Names?
Tristan, Taylor, and Wyatt.
And tell us a little bit about your occupation.
I farm crops. We got a hog operation, a custom feeding operation, where we raise out pigs for a company, JBS now. I sold chemicals, farm chemicals, on the kind of on the side, I guess you'd say, as a substitute to earn more money. And then we always helped each other, so we were busy.
And your brother Mike just testified that you help help his farming operation, and he in return helps you.
Yes, and we also farm with my other brother Pat and Dad. We farm each other's ground. We go wherever it's needed, I guess.
Okay. Let's go back in time a bit, Todd. How did you meet Amy?
I met Amy at the Delaware County Fair in Manchester. I think it was in 2003, and I just met her at the beer tent or something like that.
Okay. So it wasn't like it was a blind date or?
No, it was not.
How long did the two of you date before marrying?
It would have been, I'd say, well, it would have been about 14 months.
And where were you living when you met her?
I was living at the same farm in where I'd live now.
Where was she living?
She was, at the time, was living in Marion or Cedar Rapids. I don't remember which one it was.
Was she employed when you met her?
Yes.
What was she doing?
She was working as, I think it was a bookkeeper in St. Luke's. I can't remember. She was changing stuff at that time. It's hard to remember exactly what position she held.
So when you got married, she moved into the family farm?
Yes, she did.
Did you own that property when you got married?
Yes, I did.
And what did you know about Amy's background in terms of where did she grow up? Was she a farm girl or a city girl or what?
Yes, I knew, she told me right away she grew up in Eldora on a farm, that her dad lived there. She didn't spend a lot of time talking about other places she was, other than growing up in Eldora and then ending up in the Cedar Rapids area.
Now, what year did you get married?
In '04.
So at that time, did you have these hog buildings on the farm?
Not at the time, no.
Were you strictly a row crop operation, or did you have cattle?
At the time, we had dairy cattle at what I would consider my brother Mike's farm, and I was sharing the labor load there, helping that, but we had hogs on a bunch of different farms, but it was in small buildings.
Okay, hang on. He does not strike me. I mean, he sounds very truthful here. Are you guys getting the same vibe that this is just him saying whatever he's asked to say, and that he means it, every word of it? Okay, so I wonder if that, once we get eventually down to exactly what happened that day or where he was and everything, if that changes at all. So I'm going to be watching closely.
And then row crops.
Did Amy seem to settle in all right to farm life?
She seemed almost ecstatic about it. I mean, she wanted to move in right away, I guess is what you'd say.
Do you have interest in outside of farming? In other words, sports, music, hunting, fishing, that kind of stuff?
Yes, I love to hunt and fish. In general, be outdoors. I mean, if it's tubing in a creek somewhere or canoeing or just various four-wheeling, anything outside.
How about Amy? What were her interests?
She liked the same things. From what I always understood, she loved it. She loved being outdoors. She liked being outside.
Did the two of you ever hunt together?
Yes, a lot.
What kind of hunting?
We did a lot of deer hunting, squirrel hunting, turkey hunting, and all kinds of hunting, coyote hunting.
Was this all with a firearm, or was there bow and arrow also?
It was a bow and arrow and shotgun.
Okay.
Squirrels with a bow and arrow is really tough. Shotgun with squirrels is devastating. There's not much left.
At some point, did Amy seek and obtain employment off the farm?
Off the farm?
Right. Did she work somewhere in town?
Oh, yes. Yeah, she was, she started off in St. Luke's, and then she worked there until, I can't remember exact year, but then she went to Manchester because it was closer, and we were having kids, and then she moved, or she switched to work up to there.
What was her, did she have a degree in something?
She started off, I think it was some type of a lower level nurse or a secretary, but then she got her LPN, and then she almost immediately went after her RN, and then she was a registered nurse after that.
Where did she get her RN training at?
At Kirkwood.
And that training occurred after your marriage?
I think she was actually pursuing that when we met.
Okay. Todd, I'd like to then move forward to approximately 4 to 5 years ago in time. And we've heard a lot of testimony about Amy having an affair. You recall that?
Yes.
And was she working at the Manchester Hospital when that happened?
Yes, she was.
And we heard Terry Steiner talk about her and Amy were good friends at that time.
Trying to think, what year was that now?
When this first affair occurred?
Yes.
Okay. And after you learned of that situation, what did you and Amy do about it?
Well, basically, after I discovered it, we decided, immediately that she wanted to make it, quit her affair, go to counseling. She was sorry, and then wholeheartedly work it out.
Okay. Terry testified that she encouraged you to both get counseling. Was that true?
Terry encouraged, this was before I discovered it, she wanted Amy to go to counseling because she was sad or, depressed. This was before I knew about it. And then after I found out, Amy and I looked up a counselor out of the phone book, basically, but it was in Cedar Rapids. But Terry did encourage both of us to go.
Okay. Did the counseling that you obtained, did that seem to help?
Yes. We didn't go very long, but it really helped me to get a start,
Did Amy seem to be all in on correcting the situation and moving in the right direction?
Yes.
Were you satisfied that she wanted to stay married and would be faithful?
Yes.
Was there any direction given to you by this counselor as to how to work on your marriage as you went forward?
Yes, there was several suggestions. She said Amy had to basically be accountable for what she was doing. She, if she was to go somewhere, it was just courtesy to let me know. To, be open, don't hold anything back. If she had a problem, talk about it. Just that in general, just to be open. And
did the two of you try to practice that, to be open with each other?
Yes, we did.
Did you talk about it?
Yes, we talked about everything. If it was anything on our mind, we talked about it.
Did she seem comfortable with that?
Objection calls for speculation.
I'll let him talk about his observations. Go ahead.
Yes, it got a lot. Every week that went by and every conversation went by, it was easier, and it really helped. It really progressed well.
Okay. It's been talked about or mentioned by a couple witnesses that Amy complained to them that you were keeping too close of control or too close of contact with her when she was not with you. Did she ever complain to you about that?
No, she never complained to me about it. It was actually her idea almost all the time if she went to town, she would just say, hey, headed to town, got to stop at, this place, and this place. I don't, just depended on where she was going. And it was just real simple. Here's where I'm at. Shouldn't take long. I'll be home.
Was this mostly being communicated back and forth by cell phones and text messages?
Yes, either a call or a text.
You spent a lot of time working, farming.
Yes.
What would be a normal day starting, time-wise?
It depends a little on the time of year. On an average day, when I'm not doing field work, I'd say 7 o'clock usually, just depending on the time of year, 6:30, 7 o'clock. And then it was usually just go out, take care of the hog chores. Then usually we went over to another site and did hog chores there. usually I was communicating with my brother or dad about if they had anything going on with their beef operation, and it was just kind of a communication thing day by day, and then we always stayed busy doing something.
Okay. Would you generally have a family meal in the evening?
Almost every night.
Okay. After this, I'll keep calling it the first affair, did your farming situation or your farming plan change?
Yes, Amy, it was after we went to counseling for a little bit, Amy came to me and said, I would really like to quit my job. I think by being home with the kids and you and not having to work weekends, we could spend more weekends together. She could be a stay-at-home mom, which she wanted to be, if there was any possibility to that. So at that time, I pursued building another hog barn to hopefully make a little bit of money, so to substitute her quitting her job. And we went forward with that plan.
Okay. When was the first hog barn built?
That was in 2012.
This is Todd
Can I
Mullis from
add
his
something to
first
that, too?
trial. It's a
We
replay
also
from 2019.
expanded on, I sold chemicals on the side, and when she moved back home, she took the books for it and got it on a computer system, and which helped expand that operation also.
Okay. In 2015, did you also acquire some ownership in some more land?
Yes, it's 2016,
Yeah.
or roughly. Yes, it was. There was a farm up by Greeley that my brother and dad and Amy and I purchased a farm up there at an auction.
And was that all work ground, farm ground?
No, it was actually there's a nice timber there on the one side of the road. There's some set-aside acres, I guess you call them, where it's grass, I guess, but there's recreational ground and work ground together.
Was there a house and buildings there?
No.
Okay. Was there any part of that farm that had a special interest for you and Amy?
Yes, on the timber side, there was we had a pond. There was an old pond there, and we redid it and made it a real nice big pond, and we planted a bunch of trees where we planned to build a log cabin.
And did you have a year in mind or a time in your family's life when you wanted to build that cabin?
Not at first, but every time we would go up there, it seemed to be brought up more and more and more, and I think she was getting the itch to do it.
Okay. I want to back up a little bit, perhaps. You talked about going from where you live in your ground to another site to do chores and stuff. Was there ever any ownership in that other site or partial ownership?
Yes, I had a partial ownership in that.
And is that with your dad, Mike?
Yes.
In February of 2018, was there some transfer of ownership or titling of property change that occurred?
Yes, where I currently live, there was a small parcel where the house and the machine shed and some grain bins were, that was in my parents' possession, and it got transferred to Amy and I.
Did you actually buy it from them, or they just transferred it?
It was a purchase.
Okay. And that property, my notes indicate that was in February of 2018.
Yes.
Okay. At some point in your marriage, was the home remodeled?
Yes, in the spring of 2013, I proceeded myself in kind of gutting the house, the kitchen, living room, and remodeling the whole inside.
Was that before or after Amy's affair?
It was actually before and during.
Okay.
Raina, congratulations on 13 months. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Did you force her to quit the hospital?
No, I did not.
She wanted to.
She requested it, yes.
I've heard different opinions from some of her friends.
After the counseling that you jointly sought, She was now an at-home mom. How would you describe her feeling about that? In other words, did she seem comfortable with that?
She seemed overwhelmingly happy. She loved it.
From the time of that first affair and the rather dramatic changes that you two made in your lives after that, up until the summer of 2018, did you have any concerns about you and Amy and your marriage?
No.
Did Amy participate in activities apart from you and the farm during those years?
Yes, she was. She liked to do the EMS voluntarily in Earlville. She liked to do that. She liked to go golfing with Terry. Pork producers, when she got into that, she'd always liked to do something with other people.
Hold on just one second. Let me pause. Amy was an RN. Amy likes EMS. Amy wanted to quit. These three things they don't go well together for me. Just based on my personal experience. The RNs I know, first of all, it is very, very tough work. And they love to complain, but they also love their jobs. I think you'd have to love your job to be an RN. Tell me if I'm wrong here. So it seems like a jump for her to want to quit that. Is that am I wrong in calling that out?
Did she at some point take a houseboat trip with some friends?
Yes, that was. I think she was still working when she took that trip, okay. But she did take a trip.
I believe there was some mention in some of your documents of a trip to Alaska.
Yes, she went with Randy and Peggy and Tristan, and they went to Alaska for I think it was a Ducks Unlimited thing with Randy, and they went up there for several days. Okay.
A trip to Florida?
Yes, that was in June of 2018. She went to Florida for Taylor's gymnastics
now
nationals.
During these years, was Amy's mom always living in the Ankeny area?
Yes.
Did she have regular visits with her?
Yes.
Did you always go with her?
No, I did not.
Would it be more often that you did not go than if you did?
Yes.
Would the children usually go with her if she was going to see her mom?
It usually depended on the situation, and over the years it's changed as far as who went with her.
Why did it change?
The kids got older. When they were younger, actually when the kids were younger though, she was still working and she didn't really get down there that much, but when she quit and she quit working, then if there was any kids go, it would usually be Taylor or Wyatt, or both.
Okay. Would some of those trips be associated later on, at least, with Taylor's tumbling?
Yes.
Okay. And were most of these things that you just described, golfing, lunches, trips, and so forth, those were being done without you being with her?
Yes.
And were you comfortable with that occurring?
Yeah, I actually encouraged it.
Now stepping ahead to July or summer of 2018, Mr. Frazier has indicated that you contacted him, and it had to do with him and Amy. Do you recall that testimony?
Yes.
And you're not denying you made such a call?
No, I'm not. I made the call.
What prompted you, or what brought that call about?
I had noticed that she was just acting a little different, and I had looked at a phone records, and I seen there was a large number of communications with him, and I just wanted to know what that was about. I was kind of curious. I wanted to know what was going on.
Was it true that Amy and Jerry had a legitimate basis to communicate about the hog operation?
Yes.
But this amount of communication seemed excessive to you?
It did to me, yes.
When you contacted Jerry, what did he say?
He just said, he goes, "Really? It's that many?" "Oh, well, she's been texting me a lot, asking about show pigs, and I know she wants to get your kids involved in show pigs. And there's just a lot of communication that way. And then I think he said that Amy was asking him questions about gymnastics because Taylor was in gymnastics and his daughter was in gymnastics, and I think there was some talk about that too. Just general hog stuff or gymnastic stuff, kid stuff.
Okay. Did he assure you that there was nothing inappropriate going on?
Yeah, he said, I guarantee you there's nothing going on.
Did you accept that?
Yes, I did, but I was just a tad bit unsure yet.
And what did that unsureness lead you to do?
I asked, I called Ayden. I think I had text Terry about it too, and I said, hey, I just wanted to make sure that I'm not out of line, thinking that. And then Ayden said, well, I kind of asked her what she thought. She goes, well, I'd just call his wife and see what's going on. And I had also communicated with Randy too at that time what he thought. He just kind of said, well, I don't know.
So did you contact Jerry's wife?
Yes, I did.
And what was her reaction?
At first she sounded curious, and then she goes, I'll look into it. And then I go, well, I just wanted to see, I just want to put that to rest. And then that was about it.
Did you at some point contact both Jerry and his wife and apologize for possibly upsetting them?
Yes, I did. I after talking to them, I was like, you know what? They both were not, they sounded very convincing. And his wife said, I don't see why there's anything would be going on. And after that, I just said, I'm sorry that bugged you. I hope I didn't cause any troubles between you.
Did this exchange between you and Jerry and his wife interfere with your relationship with Jerry as the field manager for the Hogs?
No.
Did he continue to come to your farm on a regular basis?
Yes, same as always.
And would you normally be the person that he would deal with?
Yes.
Was there ever any, did you ever get to a point with Jerry that you felt comfortable enough to talk about things other than business, like hunting, fishing, sports?
Yeah, we talked kind of about everything. He would say, I got a buddy that farms, and he would talk about that, or he would talk about his show pigs and how they were performing or how good he wanted to do at the state fair, and just general other things.
Certainly a friendly relationship.
Yeah, we got along good.
Todd, from the witnesses and text messages and so forth that we have seen introduced here, it appears that around the end of August of 2018, Amy contacted you indicating that there may be rumors about her behavior again.
Yes.
And how did the two of you deal with that?
She approached me and asked and told me, she goes, told me about there might be some stuff going around. Terry let me know that there's some rumors flying around. You know how people are. She asked me who I had talked to. And I just told her, well, I only talked to Jerry and his wife and Ayden and Randy. And then she was concerned at how they could get started. So we talked about that, like, well, who could have started that? Kind of went back and forth like that for a little bit. And she said, well, I just wanted you to know, so if you hear something, don't believe it, And then I'm like, oh, for crying out loud, And then I just kind of thought about it, I guess, for a day or two, and then let it go.
Everything seemed okay?
Yeah.
Okay. And this was around, I think we narrowed it down by phone calls and text messages. This would have been around the last day or two of August, 1st of September. Does that sound right?
It was right around that time, yes.
Amy's grandfather had died, or grandmother had died that summer?
Yes, Grandma Margaret died.
And where was she living or hospitalized or wherever her death occurred?
She lived in Eldora and had fallen, broken her hip earlier, and then she went to the old age home, and then she got sick from there and died in Eldora.
Okay. Did you attend the funeral?
Yes. The wake and the funeral, yes.
Was that the occasion that you met Patricia?
Yes, I met her the day before the funeral at the wake.
Had Grandma's illness and the fall and injury, had that caused Amy to be away from the farm some?
Yeah, she went out when she broke her hip, and I can't remember the amount of days, but she was gone at that time. And then when she got sick again, then she went out again and stayed for several days. And then she was out there when she actually passed.
When she was doing that with her grandma, were the kids going with her?
No, the kids were with me.
Okay. Was there another health issue in Amy's family that followed?
Yes, it was her Uncle Jerry. We were actually at a football game, Amy and I, and she got a call from Randy about Jerry having a brain bleed on a golf course, and they had to haul him into the hospital, and just wanted to let her know that.
And did that result in a fairly significant hospital care and followed by rehabilitation?
Yes, it was quite lengthy. I mean, it was for a while there they didn't know if he was going to make it, and they took part of his skull out and things like that, and it was long hospitalization and recovery.
Let me pause for just a second and explain what we're watching here. The court, the live trial that we're following, has a break in witnesses. It's about 3 hours long. During that time, we're going to watch what it was about 3 hours of testimony in the original trial when Todd took the stand. So he's being questioned by his original lawyer. That lawyer is basically the subject of this new trial we're watching, the PCR, the post-conviction relief trial, where they're saying that lawyer messed up and did such a bad job that he deserves a new trial. So we're listening to the direct examination by that lawyer of Todd from back in 2019.
Do you have an estimate of how many times Amy might have went down to, that was in Des Moines, right?
Yes.
How many times she might have visited down there checking on him?
I think she was gone in close to 30 days out of a couple months.
So almost half the time she was there?
I'm estimating it, yes, but I think it was close to 30 days.
Okay. Was she taking the kids there?
No.
Was her absence from the farm and the kids somewhat of a concern on your part?
Not at first. I tried to just be understanding about it, but then it seemed to be dragging on a little bit. It's like, well, I mean, I was asking her, well, he's got kids too, maybe they could share the load a little bit and help us at home, because we had a lot going on. We had, 4 buildings of hogs going out, plus the harvest was going to start, and I was kind of swamped, getting the kids run around and to football practice and home and all that.
Okay. Did you discuss that with Amy, that it was starting to kind of wear on you?
Yeah, I kind of I mentioned it, but I didn't really press the issue.
There were some text messages that we saw that between you and Terry, I think it was Terry, where this topic was coming up about her being away and not helping around home when she was at home and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Were you concerned about anything else though, other than the fact that she was gone a lot?
No. I was just, like I said, I was kind of swamped, and that's why probably when I text her and I go, I was overloaded with work and I just wanted some help, so I wanted to know if she had any suggestions, but other than that, no.
Okay. Did you become aware that Amy had, I call it a kind of a run-in with your mother about this?
Yes.
What happened, as far as you know?
As far as I know, I had my son Wyatt at my mom's because we were harvesting, and I had my daughter Taylor with me, and Tristan was with Mike. And I was commenting corn, and I got a call, and Amy told me she was kind of upset. She said, your mom blew up at me or something, to that effect. That she said I was a bad mom, and she didn't want me to take Wyatt, and she didn't want to stand for that, and I agreed with her.
Do you recall sending a text that you perhaps meant to send to Tristan, but it ended up going to Amy, that something to the effect that Amy was crazy?
No.
You don't remember that?
No, I did not. I was actually told Eileen that there must have been a fight, or I sent Eileen a text that there must have been a fight. Amy and Mom got in a fight, and Mom wanted her out of the house.
Okay. Did you ever have words with your mother about what she had said and done?
Yes, immediately.
Did you stick up for Amy?
Yes, I did. I told her that you can't talk to Amy that way. There's no reason for it. I know she's been gone a lot, but she's had a lot of trouble with her family, with health problems. You got to be understanding about that. And Mom agreed then.
Okay. From the time that you had these contacts with Jerry and his wife, just to clear the air, up until the time of Amy's death, did you have any suspicions at all that she was having an affair?
No.
Other than the illnesses in the family and her absences that you just described, you didn't sense that there was anything going on behind your back?
No, I did not, because she was also upset with her and being concerned for her mother Peggy, because she was stressed out from the loss of Margaret and now Jerry. It was her brother and her mother, that she was overwhelmed and she was just stressed out from that. So if there was any stress signs from Amy, I attributed it to her being concerned for her family. And then that.
Is that stress that you were witnessing the reason you were texting with Terry about getting her to counseling?
Yes, there was also, she was bleeding abnormally on her periods. She would bleed like that, and I'm going, there's just something going on with her. I would like to help her, but I don't know how to help her.
In one of those text messages, it looked like you had done some research about menopause.
Yes, I did. I was concerned because she would say, I'm just bleeding again. I don't know what the heck's going on with me. And then she would have mood swings. And I was like, well, I'm not a woman. So I looked it up, and there was symptoms on there that were consistent with what she was showing, so I showed it to Amy.
State introduced Exhibit 105, which is a partial history of Google searches on your Google account, toddmullis76@gmail.com. Do you recall that?
Yes.
And you had the iPad that your brother Mike spoke about this afternoon?
Yes, it was that. Yes.
Did you use that iPad a lot for research and accomplishing basic farm things, I guess I'll call them?
Yeah.
Did anyone else use that iPad?
Yes.
Who?
Amy used it a lot for downloading chemical bills. She kept track of the bills, so she would look on her email and get a bill. She would look on my email, get bills, and enter them into the computer in the shop. That way she didn't have to run back and forth. And she would research price quotes a lot. Mike used it. I think my nephew used it.
Was there a password to it?
Yes.
Did Amy have the password?
Yeah, she's the one who actually put it in for me.
Okay. And was it possible on that iPad to go from one Google account to another?
Yes.
Were you aware, or did you ever become aware, that Amy used that iPad to search for personal things like clothing or jewelry or that kind of thing?
I didn't watch her every time, but she could have, yes.
And you weren't, I assume you weren't contacting Google every month to get a printout of your activity?
No, I didn't track what she was looking up or using it for.
Okay. But you've looked through State's Exhibit 105? Correct?
Yes.
And today we printed off a larger, more complete version of that Google printout. And you've looked at that?
Yes, I have.
You were present when Deputy Hemseth testified that about certain searches about cheating spouses or cheating wives, that kind of thing. Did you do those searches?
No, I did not.
Did you know? Do you know who did?
I have no idea who looked that up.
Did you and Amy ever discuss topics like that between the two of you?
If there was a movie or something, we might have talked about a little bit of something like that, but not extensively, no.
Did the two of you enjoy together history programs?
Yes, we watched History Channel a lot.
did that ever lead to a follow-up search by either one of you?
Yes, quite often, actually.
Did you and Amy both enjoy history of Native American and other Indian populations?
Yes, we both would watch a show and look stuff up.
There were some searches, and I'll give you some examples. One, I think it was on January 15th of 2018, where I don't have the exact wording in front of me, but it was something to the effect of keeping your son from becoming a pussy. You remember that?
I remember seeing it, yes.
Did you do that search?
No, I did not.
Do you know was there an issue in the home about your son or sons having
Yes, there was an issue there when Wyatt there was a kid taking money from him on the bus, or he would take a snack and he would take it from him. And we were discussing that because he'd always keep asking for money for breakfast. And we kind of questioned him about it. And then I think one of the other kids said, I think somebody's taking his money every day. And we both discussed, like, hey, we got to encourage him to stand up for himself.
So you and Amy both discussed
Yes.
that? Okay. There was mention that I believe that Tristan was made to quit the band because band people were pussies. Is that something you conveyed?
No, I did not.
Why did Tristan quit playing music?
Yes, he did. But it was he just said he wanted to quit, at his own, that's what he told me, or us, that he wanted to quit.
Did he participate in other extracurricular activities other than band?
Yes, he was in football.
Did he enjoy football?
He loved football, but he was starting to get more all the time.
A close exam, and I don't think it's been mentioned, but since it's part of the exhibits, there were searches for a site called Pornhub. Are you familiar with that site?
Yes.
And what's on Pornhub, or what can you see on Pornhub?
Adult videos.
Okay. Did you ever watch adult videos on your iPad?
Well, yeah, both Amy and I did.
Right. You did together?
Yeah, we did.
And how would that come about?
Well, I'm not 25 anymore, I guess, and if she wanted to go make an hour or two out of it, I guess we needed a little outside help, I guess you'd say.
Okay. Kind of embarrassing?
Yeah. So what's for lunch? Let's.
There was a search that the deputy mentioned specifically. On November 6th, body organs, maps, and diagrams. Do you remember him talking about that?
Yes.
And that was the day of Amy's surgery, right?
Yes.
And do you recall, did you do that search?
Actually, it was my daughter Taylor and I were sitting on the couch, and she was asking about mom's surgery and all sorts of questions. And we looked it up because it was easier to just show her what was going on and where stuff was.
And there was an issue this morning that we brought up about the time of these things. Like that search on November 6, 2018, on this says 1:48 and 27 seconds UTC. Did you do that search at 1:48 in the morning?
No.
Do you remember about what time of the night or what time of the day or night you did?
I know it was in the evening sometime.
Okay. And have you looked at this UTC thing to figure out what it is?
I just, from going by what you said before, that it was an offset in time.
All right. And you looked at some of these other ones, and that offset would seem appropriate for other searches that were done?
Yeah, I would say, yes.
There was also some mention of searches about starving to death, drowning, floating, those kinds of things. Do you remember, did you do any of those searches?
The drowning ones were with the kids and swimming. We were swimming in the pond, and Tristan would say, I can float so much better than Wyatt, and then they looked it up when they got home.
And there was some other searches about chest wounds, gaping chest wounds, surviving in cold, start a fire, that kind of thing. What were those about?
That was actually, Taylor was going through a hunter education program, and it was an online thing, and she was studying for it, and they had these questions on the computer, and I think, it was Amy trying to help her out. It was all about a hunter education course.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
Todd, I'm going to hand you a document which has been marked as Defendant's Exhibit NO. Would you take a look at that?
Okay.
On the front page up at the upper left-hand corner on line 3, what does it say?
It says Google account toddmullis76@gmail.com.
And on line 7, what is the last entry date shown?
Say that again.
What on line 7, what is the date?
11/16 of 2018.
Go to the last page, please. On line 2945, what's the date there?
March 10th, 2017.
Okay. And you've had a chance to just at least skim through this or review this.
Yeah, I briefly looked it over.
Okay. I'd like to have you go back to the front, but page down using that number in the left-hand column, and go to 347. You found it?
Yes.
And what's the date there?
It's July 22nd, 2018.
And what is the search for?
Wedding dresses.
Did you do a search for wedding dresses that day?
No, I did not.
Have you ever searched for wedding dresses?
I have never searched for wedding dresses.
Okay. If you go down
I believe him there.
A few pages to 507 in the left-hand column.
Okay.
Found it. What's the date there?
July 3rd, 2018.
And what's the search for there?
Ohana tattoos.
Did you ever search for a Ohana tattoo?
No, I did not.
Have you heard that name before?
I hadn't until the other day.
Here in the courtroom?
Yes, in the courtroom, with a text from PK, I believe, or between PK and Amy.
Who do you mean by PK?
Patricia Christopherson. I was always referring to her as PK. That's what Amy always called her.
Go to 517, please. A few lines down.
That's July 2nd, yes.
What's the search there?
Ohana tattoos.
And 518. Or excuse me. No, I was wrong there. I'm sorry. Did you ever do a Pinterest search?
No.
Do you know what Pinterest is?
I have no idea what Pinterest is.
Did you? Go way down to 2,596. What's the date there?
January 21st, 2018.
And what's the search for there?
It says DNA testing, discreetly doing a DNA test without consent possible.
What's the next one down? What's the search there for?
It says how to do a DNA test without the father knowing.
Did you ever do any searches about DNA testing?
No, I did not.
Did Amy ever talk to you about her doing such searches?
No.
Did she ever discuss at all with you any concern about DNA or some project she might be working on, anything like that?
No.
And I'm going to make you travel back to 432, I believe. Yes, 432. What's the date there?
July 15th of 2018.
And what's the search for?
Zales.com.
Did you ever search for Zales?
No, I did not.
What is Zales? Do not want to search?
Going up to the top of that page, 417. What's that search for?
Kay's Jewelry.
Was that a search by you?
No, it was not.
And I think I asked the deputy this morning, there was searches for hotels in the Newton area during the summer of 2018. Did you do those?
No, I did not.
Have you ever searched, to your memory, for hotels on your iPad?
I've never searched for hotels.
Okay. So, based on this review of the Google summary, do you agree with the deputy that it was only you doing these searches?
Thank you for
I
all the
disagree with
answers.
that.
I will never forget. I will never forget that Zales is a jewelry store. I think I got 500 answers there. Burner phone, everything was going off.
All right, Mr. Mullis. I'm going to move ahead now specifically to November 10th, 2018. And unfortunately, that was the day of Amy's death, correct?
Yes.
We heard from Tristan, 2 days ago, I believe. But I want to ask you, what do you recall from basically getting up in the morning? What were your steps starting out?
We got up. I think we kind of hung around the house just for 10 or 15 minutes. I was very tired yet from, the harvest and things like that. But we hung around the house. Tristan and I got dressed. We took the truck and went over to what we call the east site, and we did chores over there. We checked both barns, went through them. When we were done with that, I briefly stopped and talked to Mike about my nephew did some ripping the night before, chisel plowing. Asked him, hey, do you think it'll work today? And he said no. So I said, hey, well, I guess we got pigs coming next week, so we'll probably just go home and do that. And
so why was the ripping or chisel plowing not appropriate that day?
The ground was too froze. My nephew commented that when he got done the night before, he said, it's not going to work.
Okay. So you and Tristan went back to the home?
Yes, we went back home, and we went in the house and ate some breakfast, and we were just talking to the kids, and Amy was sitting there doing a puzzle, and she asked what was up, and I said, well, we're going to go out and start getting the buildings ready.
Do you remember there being any discussion topic about holidays?
Oh, yes. She had mentioned that Rainey and Peggy, on her side of the family, was having Thanksgiving. I can't remember exactly what day that was, but she said it was coming up in the coming week or two, and wanted to know how that would work with us and the pigs and all that.
Did you as a family generally try to spend holidays with both sides of the family?
Yes, we tried, yes.
Okay. So well, let me ask you this. This plan to go out and work in the hog barn to get things ready, was that something you just announced, or did you discuss it with Amy and Tristan, or tell us how that came about?
Actually, we had just walked in, and I think Amy mentioned to Tristan, I got a little breakfast left over, and what are you guys up to? And then I don't remember if it was me or Tristan said, we're going to go out and work in hog barns, get them ready.
Because you and Tristan had already had that
Yes.
topic when you decided not to do the ripping.
Yes, we went over that at Mike's.
Okay. What was there any reaction from Amy when you announced that you were going to go out and start getting the barns ready?
Yeah, she basically I think she just asked, hey, you need some help? Mind if I come out?
Now, this was November 10th, and you mentioned that on November 6th she had had a medical procedure completed.
Yes.
And you heard Terry describe that medical procedure. Was that pretty accurate as you understood it?
Yes, as to my knowledge, I didn't witness the surgery, but I would assume that that was the procedure.
And did you take Amy to that surgery that day?
Yes, I did.
And it was an outpatient surgery, I assume?
I think that's what you call it. Yeah, we went in. It was in the emergency room, but that was a surgery or room out to the side.
But she didn't stay overnight in a
No,
hospital?
she did not stay overnight.
From that day, from November 6th up to November 10th, was she as physically active as she normally would be?
No, she spent almost 24/7 in the house. She was just resting, and that's basically all she was. She was cooped up in the house.
So when she said, you know, do you need some help or can I help, what was your reaction?
I said, if you're okay with it, that's fine.
So did you all go together out to the hog barn?
No, Tristan and I went out first. We went out first, and then Amy came out. She wasn't dressed yet for chores. She was in her pajamas yet, and we were dressed already, so we went out first, and then she came out a little bit later.
Do you have an estimate as to what time you and Tristan would have went out to the hog barn?
I think it was it was after 9, by 9:30, sometime around there.
And Tristan described the various things that each of you were doing when he testified by video the other day. Was he accurate?
Yes, there was a few things we do in addition to what he was saying, but I was doing those jobs, so it makes sense.
He was getting those heaters and getting them to the pins?
Yes.
Amy was cleaning light globes?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
And you were getting these nipple feeders down?
Yeah, I was getting the nipple bars down and zip tying them in place, but I was also hanging the brooder heaters at the same time.
Okay. At some point, did you notice anything about Amy that concerned you?
Yes.
What?
She got down a couple times, and she would brace herself against the feeder, and she was kind of just like readjusting herself. And I think Tristan asked at first, she goes, "You okay, Mom?" Because he was closer to her. And she goes, I just feel dizzy, lightheaded. And then we asked her if she was okay, and she goes, is there something we should be concerned about, She goes, no, I'm fine.
So all of you continued with your work?
Yes, we just kept doing the same thing.
Was there any further concern about how Amy was doing?
Yes, not every pen, but every so often she would get down and it would take her longer to readjust, and she said she was just dizzy. She kept getting dizzy. So we just kept asking her if she was okay. You sure you want to go back in the house? And she goes, no, I'll just keep going. It ain't that bad.
That she indicated that she wanted to be helpful?
Yes, she didn't want to go back in. She didn't want to feel worthless, I guess.
And in good health, this would certainly be something that Amy would be engaged in fully.
Yes, it would be no problem.
Okay. At some point, did she concede and agree to leave the hog barn?
Yes, after multiple times of asking her if she was okay. We were concerned about her, both Tristan and I were concerned about her, and we kind of go, hey, I think, you're going to get too hurt here, you're going to fall off, so why don't you just go in the house?
And she agreed?
Yes, reluctantly, yes.
Right. How did this thing with the pet carrier come about?
The pet carrier she didn't want to go at first. She kept saying, I'm going to keep going. I'm all right. And then Tristan actually suggested, he goes, hey, Dad, we need to get that pet carrier out. And I go, yeah, Amy, why don't you go do that? Why don't you go get that pet carrier out of the shed, because we're going to get the skid loader and water towed out. We don't want to run over them cats.
The
That'd be
skid loader,
something good to help us out.
The skid loader and water tote was going to be used to water the chickens.
The chickens across the road, yes.
And these kittens had been orphaned?
Yes, they were orphaned for a while.
And what was the pet carrier what was that going to be used to do to help with the kittens?
Well, we're going to use the pet carrier to put the kittens in while we back machinery in and out. That way we knew where they were at, and we could back them in and out, and we wouldn't have to worry about running them over.
Okay. So Amy left the hog barn?
Yes.
Tristan mentioned something about wearing boots in the hog barns. Did you wear special boots in and out?
Yes.
And what was the reason for doing that?
We use that so we don't carry disease from one site to another. We would take our work boots off and then slip, like a slip-on boot on, just for them hog buildings.
Okay. So when Amy left the building, it was your understanding she was going to go to the shed, get the pet carrier, and do what with it?
She was going to put it in front of the shop and then go in the house.
What did you and Tristan do after she left the hog barn?
We just continued working, doing our jobs, hanging nipple bars and brooders and washing lights.
At any point, did you become aware that Tristan had stepped out of the main part of the hog barn at any time?
Yeah, I think I seen him go down towards the end to get a drink. Yeah, that's what he said he was going to do. I'm gonna grab a drink quick, Dad.
Was he gone very long?
No.
Did he do that more than once?
As he stated, he did it twice. I would guess that'd be accurate.
Do you have an estimate of how many minutes or seconds he would have been out of the main part of the barn getting the drink before he returned?
It's a matter of seconds.
Okay. While he was doing that, did you ever leave the barn?
No, I did not.
About how long did you and Tristan work there before you decided to do something different or something else developed?
We worked in there, I'd say a good hour, if not a little more. I mean, I didn't check the actual time, but I would estimate it was at least an hour or hour and 15 minutes or something. And then we were done with the barn. We had all the pens done.
Okay. What was your plan once that work was completed?
We were going to go in and grab some lunch, and then after that, we're going to go do the other barn.
So did you go straight to the house?
No.
Describe what happened next.
We went in to clean up, change our boots, and as we were doing that, me and Tristan were standing in front of the window at that time, and I go, well, that pet carrier over there, and he goes, yeah, I wonder what happened. That's what Tristan, and it was in a conversation. Well, what happened? Well, we didn't know. Well, maybe she couldn't get it out of there. I don't remember which one of us said those words, but we were having a conversation of, why isn't it over there? And then Tristan said, you want me to go check it out? And I said, yeah, why don't you go over there and check it out? If she might not have been able to get it out of there.
Okay. So he went on his own?
Yeah, and then he went over to see what happened.
Okay. Well, he went over there to see
whatever.
What went on with the pet carrier?
Yeah, if she couldn't get it out, he was going to grab it.
What did you do after he left the building to go do that?
I was just finishing washing my hands up. I had to slip my boots off, slip onto my other boots, and then I proceeded to go outside.
What happened when you went outside?
I had just stepped out for a second, and Tristan yelled.
Did you go to him?
I looked over and I was kind of like, what, you know? And then he yelled really loud again, and then I ran over there.
Where was Tristan in relation to the shed? Was he inside, outside?
He was yelling out of the opening. He was just outside the opening yelling at me. And then as I was running over, he was just standing just inside the door.
And did he say anything to you about what was upsetting him?
I don't remember him saying anything. He was more or less, Mom. He was just kind of speechless.
What did you see when you stepped in through that door?
Well, when I stepped in, I initially looked at Tristan, and I looked over, and I seen Amy hunched up, face down, laying next to the door, leaning against the door.
Did she have this corn fork stuck in her?
Yeah.
What did you do?
I more or less just dove down by her. I put my head down. I was like, Amy, I was yelling at her, trying to get her attention, or I didn't know what to think. I was just looking at her, and I picked her head up a little bit, and it was just nothing. It was no response.
So what did you decide to do?
I just wanted to help her. I just wanted, let's go to the hospital. Is there something wrong? Right now, I just reacted.
Did you pick her up?
I started to pick her up. I went under her, like her armpits, and I was trying to lift her up, and that fork handle was jabbing in the toe out the caging. And then I realized, hey, this ain't gonna work. So I just set her down more or less a little bit in my arm. I just reached over, I pulled the fork out, I tossed it, and I got underneath of her and I told Tristan, go get the truck, we gotta go.
And he did.
Yeah, he took off, and then I tried to get her up and get her out of the barn.
Did she ever become responsive at all?
No.
How did you get her placed in the truck then? How was she situated?
Well, I got her out of the barn, and it was kind of hard. She was like a noodle, and I got underneath her, and I carried her like this, and Tristan was standing by the truck, and get the door open, and he, I told her, get in there, and you gotta help me get her in, and he sat down in the seat, and I go, you gotta hold her, because I can't get her in there decent, you know? It was hard to get her in the door. And then I set her on Tristan, and he was holding her up in the seat, and it was hard to get her legs in, and then I closed the door, and I ran around the truck and took off.
At any point, did you think about just letting her there and calling 911?
I did not. I didn't. I'm a doer, I guess. I wanted to help. Let's go.
Did you call 911?
Yeah, as soon as I got in the truck, out of the driveway, I called 911.
And that's the call that we listened to?
Yeah.
Did the deputies that described what they saw when they arrived, did they accurately describe what was happening there?
Yeah, my memory is such a hyped up moment. I would agree with that.
I believe one of the witnesses described you as being excited.
Yeah, I was very excited. I think I had adrenaline pouring out my ears. I was in reaction mode. I wanted to get her to the hospital. Let's go.
Michael Krogman testified this afternoon that he kind of took over with Tristan at your request.
Yeah, Michael and Tom showed up, and everybody showed up, and it was just kind of everybody showed up at once. And I think it was Michael and a couple of the EMTs. They said, you better turn him away, you know, he better not look at this. So Michael grabbed him and took him over there, and then one of the EMTs says, why don't you go over and comfort your son? So I went over by Michael and Tristan, and at that time, I remember telling Michael, hey, he's got blood on his coat, maybe put your coat over him, you know, and Michael took his coat off and put his coat on him so he wouldn't see that. And then I thought of my other kids, and I was thinking of, oh my God, they're home alone. And I wanted to call Mom and go over and make sure, you know, watch the other two kids. And then it was just back and forth. I didn't really know what to do.
And then you followed in another Krogman's truck pickup, followed the ambulance into the hospital.
Yeah, Tom was there, and he said, why don't you hop in with me and let's go.
When you got to the hospital, were you allowed to be in and around Amy, or were they working on her?
No, not at first. They were working on her. I just remember being there was a waiting room there, and some friends were there with me, and I think it was Tom and Carol were in there with me, and we just waited.
At some point, I assume medical people informed you that she had passed.
Yeah, I don't know how long later. I think it was Durst came in and told me that, and there was a priest, and they were all there.
By that time, had your family arrived?
Yeah, I can't remember. Honestly, I think Mike was there maybe. I just can't remember exactly who was all showing up at that time. I remember there was a bunch of people coming in.
Out at the location where you met the deputies in the ambulance, do you remember expressing to them what you thought had happened?
I remember when I was on the 911, it was like the 911 call said, I said she must have fell in a corn fork. And then when I got over there, at Brian's, I think somebody asked me again, like, I really don't know what happened. I thought she fell on it, I don't know.
And you spoke with Deputy Thompson at the hospital briefly?
Yes, I think he spoke to me at least 2 times, yes.
And a similar conversation or an explanation of what you thought might have happened?
I don't know if I explained what I thought happened. I just explained what we were doing that day. He had asked what we were doing that day, and then I just said that I found her there, and I don't know if he specifically asked what I thought happened.
So you gave him an idea of what you just told the jury?
Yes, I didn't say I knew what happened. I just said this is what my perspective was. This is what I witnessed.
At some point, while you were still at the hospital, were you requested to go to the sheriff's office and have a conversation there?
Yes, Luke Thompson came up to me and he said, "Hey, is it okay if we just take you downtown and explain it one more time?" The best of my memory, that's what he said.
You cooperated with that?
And I said, "Well, if you need me to, that's fine, let's go."
After you left there, where did you go?
I went back up to the hospital. He took me back up to the hospital. I wanted to be there for Randy and Peggy when they got there. So I waited there till they got there, and then after that, it went home.
Yeah. Were the kids at home when you got home?
Yes, they were home at that time.
Your mom and dad there?
Yes, all my family was there at that time.
Okay. When would have been the next time you had any contact with law enforcement about this?
It was a few days later, 3 days later, 4 days later. Sheriff Leclerc called me and said they're wanting to wrap this up. Want to wrap up this investigation. Could you come down and talk about it? He asked how the kids were, things like that. And then I said, well, if you need me to come down, I'll get cleaned up and come down.
What had you been doing day to day in between Amy's death and that phone call?
Making some plans, looking up some songs and things like that for her wake or funeral, and getting the kids ready to go. I put the kids in school right away to keep a routine going, and just making plans.
When you got to the sheriff's office, did you participate in the interview that we saw parts of today?
Yes, I did.
Had you had much sleep in that span of time?
No, I didn't. No.
Had you heard any rumors around town?
Yes, they said the rumors were going crazy.
Rumors that you might be in trouble?
Judge, I'm not object to any rumors. That is clearly hearsay, and there's no foundation to the context.
It would be hearsay.
I'll change the question. Thank you, Honor. When you started into that interview, were you expecting to be accused of your wife's murder?
No, not at all.
Were you still apprehensive about being interviewed by the agent?
Not at first, but then I was after a little bit. I mean, the length of time, I was like, what is going on?
Okay. Do you believe, well, let me see. The agent, DCI agent this morning said that, in his opinion, you never denied killing Amy. Do you think you did?
Yes, I did.
And you did so how?
I stated that you want me to confess to something I did not do. And in my mind, that's saying I did not do that.
Was he giving you much of a chance to explain things?
Not at all. I tried several times and he wouldn't give me a chance to say 2 words.
Just a few more questions, Todd. Deputy Hempstead said this morning that he went and checked the security cameras that were on your hog barn. You heard that?
Yes, I did.
Did you know that they were not operating?
No, I did not know.
You heard your brother Mike's testimony about what would disrupt those cameras.
Yes, I did.
Do you believe that that's, in your experience, did that type of thing happen? The cats knock the antennas down?
Yes, because the colder it gets, cats go to heat. And there's a heater right below the window. Sun comes up in the morning. They sit in the window.
Now, he said, and I don't have my notes in front of me right now, but that the one, well, maybe I do. That the one camera had no activity on it from September 11th to October 29th. Have you checked it to see if that's true?
I had never rewound it. I had not checked.
And one of the cameras had nothing at all on it. You didn't check that?
No.
Right. Now, he did say that on November 11th, there was some activity on one of the cameras.
Yes,
Can you explain that?
it was the day after. I think after talking to family members and stuff, they go, hey, maybe, did you have anything on the camera? Maybe they're figure something out if she's falling over, whatever, in the yard. We didn't know. So I went out the next day. I seen everything was knocked off, hanging down by the floor. I picked it all back up, and I got the signal. And I said, well, there ain't no use trying to look into that because obviously it was all knocked over. I did not know how long it had been off or whatever.
Did you activate it, though, somehow that day?
Yeah, when I picked the antennas up off the ground and put them back so they receive reception, yes.
Okay. But you didn't expect to see anything on there because they weren't?
Well, everything was on the ground.
Okay. A couple more questions. At the end of that short conversation that Deputy Thompson had with you at the hospital, I believe he asked you at the end if he could talk to Tristan. You remember that?
Yes, I remember that.
And I think that you made a comment, something to let me talk to him, something like that?
Yeah, I believe I did.
Did you go talk to Tristan before he talked to him?
I never got a chance to. I went out and I was gonna say, is it okay? But there was a whole bunch of people outside the waiting room and I started talking to them. I never did talk to Tristan. And then Luke came over and he said, is Tristan in there? And I go, I think so. And then he went and grabbed him.
Yeah. So you weren't present when Thompson talked to
No,
Tristan?
I was not.
Okay.
Got to pull up to see if you believe the testimony here.
Todd, did you ambush your wife Amy in that shed that day and brutally beat her and chop her up with that corn fork?
No, I did not.
Do you know who did?
I have no idea.
Your Honor, I would offer that Exhibit NO at this time.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
Exhibit NO is admitted.
No other questions.
Okay.
Exhibit
I think
no
we'll quit
is
there
admitted.
for the night, folks, and come back with cross-examination in the morning. I am going to talk with the attorneys very briefly about how we're doing on time and witnesses. So I'm going to have you go to the jury room, and I'll let the court attendant know what time we need you in the morning. Remember the admonition. Keep an open mind about everything, and you will report to the jury room as always.
All right.
You took an oath yesterday.
Sorry. We're going to pause that. I don't know if we've got time for cross-examination and lunch right now. Can we get the poll after cross? We could probably redo it after. I need a little bit of time for lunch. I mean, I just ate a piece of banana bread and it was delicious, but I would actually like to eat. I didn't yesterday, and other than chips. So let's see. Let me close out this poll where it is right now. I realize we've only seen half of it on direct, but looks like about 70% of us, or 69% of us, 68 now, with nearly 300 votes. So 200 of us basically say that, yes, we do believe his testimony is telling the truth, and about a third say no, we do not believe his testimony. Interesting. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to lunch. I'm going to make a portal. We're going to jump back over here. We have 1 hour and 15 minutes before we come back. So when we come back, we might try to catch some more. We've still got half the testimony to go. It's a lot of testimony. But we're going to take a lunch break before it gets too late. It's 12:30 here. That's my lunchtime. And I get to have lunch with Mrs. R.A., which is awesome. So it's interesting. The lawyer asked the question, did you attack your wife with a corn rake? And he says, no. And the lawyer said, instead of saying, was this an accident? And he says, I think it was. He said, do you know who did? The lawyer, full on, is telling the jury that this was an attack. So, all right. Let's see. Can we watch the cross unsupervised? No, I can't do that. I have to provide additional commentary, additional value, or else I'd have copyright issues. A lot of people saying they're stuck on the number of wounds versus the in the coat versus the rake, or the rake versus the body, the multiple impacts that would be required. Just not sure how that would work. Todd should have responded it was an accident. Let's see, Josh sent me something in mod chat. Just 1 second. You guys noticed that the mod chat oh, thank you. Thank you, Josh. Got a little detailed. We're not doing the manhunt today. I removed that from the heading. Did you ever get your chicken? I did. It was cold, but I got my chicken a little bit yesterday. Giving you a cliffhanger to come back after lunch. I'm going to give you a portal to get over there. I think, how about this? We're not going to take the full lunch. We might watch some of Cross, and then we're going to pick up live when court returns, because I'm not sure exactly when that's going to happen. But give me a little bit to have some lunch. And let's see, review settings. We'll start part 10 after lunch. What time is it now? 12:30. So we'll go till... We're going to go for about an hour. Might come back a little bit early. And watch some more of the cross. So there we have it. All right. I have to say, I know farmers deal with things differently than some of the rest of us. They deal with death on a regular basis, especially a hog farmer. And they also are sort of matter-of-fact sort of people by nature. So I'll reserve judgment until after I hear Cross. How about that? Eating lunch. See y'all soon, says Mel. I'm going to join you in just a minute. Not you personally, but I'm going to join all the rest of the people eating lunch. How does a corn rake strike her in the back by someone swinging it? I can't picture that. She would, Barbara, she'd have to be knocked to the ground first. And she did have other bruises on her body. Some said that they were caused by her laying on the ground and being dead in that position. Others says it could have been from a fight. But if she was knocked down horizontal on the ground, very, very probable, very possible for that. Tonight when you go home, please hug the people you love. Smile at someone, make their day just a little bit better, and please stay safe till we go live. Right after lunch, we'll be back. Oh, I forgot. Greeners was first in chat again on the next one, by the way. It's Greeners. That's a two-peat for you. Let me actually build the portal so you have somewhere to go. Redirect, clicking, save. It's saved. All right. We do have update. I have bought the Lego kit, so I'm looking forward to the interview coming up on next Saturday. But we'll talk about more about later. You guys have a fantastic lunch. We'll see you afterwards. Bye-bye.